Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the B-Leaguers podcast. It's brought to you by the Koyo Store. Head to thekoyostore.com/B-Leaguers. Use code all caps B-Leaguers to get 5% off your order for all your officially licensed Ubisoft paraphernalia. It's a little bit of a later episode today. We were supposed to record earlier in the day, but Sam's back in Poland, and I don't have an excuse, but we both fell asleep. So it's currently 1:30 in the morning, and the play days for today just wrapped up. So at least we have some current games to go over, at least in terms of how it fucks the standings. But yeah, we fucked up. We're sorry. It'll come out as soon as I upload it, so we'll probably be done by 3:30, uploaded by 4. So you guys have it for your morning drive in, wherever the fuck you're going, to work, to school, to I don't know,
college classes.
Yeah, the hospital, your funeral. I don't know what you guys do with your lives, but hopefully we can make it a little more entertaining as you do it. We have some interesting games to go over with today's. I don't fucking know how to understand today. Let me go pull up my CGG predictions that I put in for them, because I'm 90% sure I went 0 for 8 today.
It was a very weird day.
I'm pretty confident I went 0 for 8. I mean, I'm going to have to pull it up. All right, so, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the games yet. I picked Empire to beat Chaos. Wrong, immediately. I picked the Giants to beat Vitality. Wrong, immediately. I picked CC to beat Penta. Wrong, immediately. And then I picked G2 to beat Navi. So I went 0 for 4 in EU. All right, I picked EG over LG. Wrong. I picked Space Station to win. That was a draw, so I mean, still wrong, but like only half wrong. I picked Rogue to beat the Sonics. Wrong, and I picked Reciprocity to beat TSM, in which they drew. So I did fucking go 0 for 8 today. It's a weird day. It was a weird day in the world of Siege. If you weren't paying attention to the games yesterday for you guys, today for us, it was just an upset day. I don't know. Someone out there, some higher power, was very upset with things being too predictable and decided to say, "Hey, what if we fucked everything?" So they went and fucked everything, and now, oh lord. Now the standings look incredibly botched. So I guess we'll start with North America.
Getting closer and closer, Flynn. It's just it's going to be very interesting to see how this all rounds up. I know we use that word all the time, but it's going to be very interesting.
Oh lord. So I guess we'll start with North America.
We forgot two things before we really get deep into
things. Okay. What do you want to say?
Number one, you want to take the Koyo store?
I already did.
Okay, we already did the Koyo score.
Yep.
All right, so we got Patreon, and then we're good. So you guys go to patreon.com/B-Leaguers if you guys want to support the podcast. Help us out. I mean, again, it's whatever. We just put it up because you guys wanted it, but we already have 3, Flynn. We already have 3 Patreon members. It's Liam Arp, Noah Goldberg, and Rotating Bagel. So thank you guys all for pledging yourselves to the Patreon. We appreciate it. That is your shout out on the podcast. Now we can let Flynn go do what he actually wants to do.
Yay. Okay, now we go to North America. So,
it's 1997. You're in North America.
So congratulations to Dark Zero for being the first team to qualify for Japan. They locked in not only a land spot, but also the number 1 seed. So they will be a 1 seed heading in to Japan. If anyone remembers, for Milan, they were the number 2 seed, and that's why they got matched up with Empire, who was a number 1 seed back then. So maybe, just maybe, Dark Zero has a chance to get beyond the first round.
Quarters.
Yeah. Maybe.
I have to say things at the same time as you, so I don't seem like a follower after that whole EU thing.
There you go.
After we did the math, and you were like, Chi-Chi's doing it. And I was like, fuck, we're about to do this math, and Flynn's going to be right. And everyone's going to be like, Stokes just agreed with Flynn. Like, fuck, dude.
Yup. The prophecy, by the way, we'll get to the prophecy when we do EU.
Yeah, we'll get the prophecy. We'll get to the prophecy in a bit.
North America is a bit of a shit show right now. A couple ties and a couple upsets right now really throw things out of whack. So I guess we'll start off with the first game of the day, which was EG against Luminosity. And that one went the distance on Consulate 7-5. Man, it was a weird game. I didn't get to see this game specifically. I just saw, like, I was paying attention kind of on my second monitor while we were scrimming tonight, so I didn't really pay, like, entire attention to it. Every time I looked over, though, it looked like EG was at a man disadvantage, so it felt like one of those games where EG could never get out on the strong side of things. They were always fighting from their back foot, and, I mean, you give LG that opportunity, that's a dangerous proposition, and Factor also was horrendous. I think he went like 2-10.
Yep.
That was tough. It's funny. Look at the CGG stats that they put out after every game, and they sort it by they color code it. So top to bottom is obviously green, and then like green yellow, and then yellowish red orangey, and then red. And no one on that page other than Factor was so fucking red that it hurts your eyes to look at. But that one was an eyesore. So he had a good couple games coming into the back half of the season filling in for Pixel, but now that's a tough one. I'm impressed that LG was actually able to pick up the win, considering Factor's been a big part of them actually being competitive in the last couple games.
Yeah, especially for how NA went Monday, I really felt like your picks were going to be the ones that prevailed out of everybody, because there was a couple of weird ones. Like I think Dev had the Sonics beating Rogue, and I was like, not after that last performance do I feel like Sonics is really in the right headspace in order to do that, but I guess we'll see. And then all of a sudden they pull out a fucking 7-5. I think the one that was the weirdest to me was the TSM one, especially after Monday, how they performed, and they just come in and tie reciprocity. It's like, okay, that's really, really random. But I mean, what map did they even get?
Consulate.
Was it Consulate? Yeah. Okay. Actually, that kind of makes sense then, because Consulate. Let's see here, because I didn't end up getting to watch it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. So Poge and Gotcha both did absolute dog, and then Achieve, Merc, and Bolo. Okay. So it kind of went how Consulate usually gets. The super aggressive players can really drive how the map's going to go, especially on the defensive side. So I'm going to guess that actually, no, it was 2 defensive wins each, 4 offensive wins each.
Huh. Yeah, TSM was down 4-1 and ran back 4 in a row. So they were down from 4-1, they brought it back to 5-4, and then they just traded rounds back and forth from there. So that was yeah. I don't know. It looked like TSM was in danger, and then it looked like TSM figured their shit out once that went to defense, especially, and then the wheels kind of fell off a little bit. There were a couple rounds there that I thought TSM could have had on the defense where it was like, yeah, that's gonna hurt when you watch the VOD. It was a very close game when, like, in the later portions. Like, the early portions, it was just 2 teams going on streaks. Like, it was 2-0 for Rec, then TSM got around, then it was 2 rounds in a row for Rec, and then the 4 in a row for TSM, and then they just kind of traded back and forth to end it. It's another one of those games where it's just like, it's heartbreaking that there's ties, because like seeing that game go into overtime would have been fucking spectacular, but unfortunately that's just not the case in the current online season. How it affects the standings, though, with the Sonics picking up a win and TSM only picking up a point, they are now still in 7th. They're tied with Rogue, but it looks like Rogue has the tiebreak over TSM. They do, and they play each other in week 14. So we got a lot. Okay, so TSM plays the Sonics next play day on Wednesday, and then they play Rogue next week on Monday. So there's still a chance for TSM to get out of relegations and possibly even send Rogue to relegations. Rogue will play LG on Wednesday, and then TSM on Monday, like I said. And the Sonics will play TSM on Wednesday, and then play SSG next Monday. So right now, that win against Rogue is massive for the Sonics. This is all the bottom portion relegation talk. The other 5 teams are actually all still in the running for LAN. Well, Dark Zero's already qualified, so the other 4 in the middle there, EG, Rec, Luminosity, and Space Station, they all mathematically have a chance to make it. If I was going to pick one team with the remaining 2 games, honestly, I think it might be Reciprocity. Yeah. Although LG might make it. They could get 6 out of their games. That'd put them to 24. They would need EG to lose. Although they just beat EG today. Who has the tie break between them? EG still does because they 7-0'd them the first time. Yeah, we talked about that last week. All right, that's kind of tough. Although EG has the hardest rest of schedule with SSG and Dark Zero. And you know Dark Zero, even though they've already qualified, isn't going to be pulling any punches.
Yeah, now they're just doing it for the recognition and just the round count and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Just to pad the stats a little bit. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I feel like between LG and Rec right now, I feel like LG is kind of swinging for the fences. But that was especially with that game yesterday.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, well today for you guys, yesterday for me. So wait, hold on. I got 1 second. I got something going on. 2 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, like something just really weird happened on my computer.
Oh, no.
Anyways, so delving back into NA things, apologize for the little mishap there, guys, but we got to figure it out. So we'll just have Flynn cut it so you don't even have to know it's there.
Yeah,
Anyways,
exactly.
delving back into it, you were talking about Luminosity and Reciprocity, who you think was going to end up making it to the Japan event. So I honestly feel, especially with a match yesterday up against Evil Geniuses, that Luminosity has what it takes to get around these other teams in order to make this happen. Now, looking into their schedule, though, is going to be the big, tail of the tape here. Their upcoming 2 matches are
Rogue
and Rec. So I really feel like that's doable, especially with them just beating EG. The Reciprocity game is going to be a crapshoot. You already know that. But the Rogue game, I really, really feel like they're going to win that because they just lost to the Sonics.
Yeah, and just rest of schedule wise, LG has the easiest road. So LG plays Rogue, who have not been great. And then they play Rec, who match up against them pretty well, but it'll be a game to make it to LAN, basically. If LG beats Rogue.
It's going to be a crapshoot. It's just going to be what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and EG definitely has the hardest schedule, and if they just lost to LG and they tied Rogue and they tied the Sonics, they've been bad lately. They've just been bad. They're always EG. They came out of the gates firing, but I don't know. They've just been unable to really get these free wins that they've been gifted, honestly. The last 3 games should have been dubs for them, statistically anyway, and they're just unable to lock in the points to guarantee themselves the LAN spot, so they're going to have to fight for it the hard way against SSG and Dark Zero. And I don't know. I think any one of these teams can honestly make it. I would say SSG, given EG's last few games, might have the easiest road if EG is going to stop. If they're going to keep up this fucking disastrous performance. If EG returns to form on Wednesday, then it's a different story, because you're still going to get the free win against the Sonics, even though the Sonics have looked better. They haven't looked great, but they look better recently. The only problem is you need a lot of teams to lose at that point because you're so far down. So EG would have to lose out, and you would be responsible for part of that, taking down EG on Wednesday. And then you need EG to lose to Dark Zero next Monday. Totally possible. But you also need LG to lose. You could have LG still beat Rec, and that would actually help you out a lot, because if Rec beats LG on the 14th, or Rec beats Dark Zero on the 9th, then you're kind of fucked. Who has the tiebreak between them? SSG does. Okay, SSG has the tiebreak. So Rec can't get 4 points, or else you're fucked. LG can't win both the games, or you're fucked. You need to win out. You need EG to lose to Dark Zero after you beat them. There's a fucking laundry list of clauses that will put SSG in LAN. Versus Evil Geniuses, where it's win 1 game and you're probably fine. Win 2 games and you're golden. Right now, EG has the easiest track points-wise. I'd say Rec and LG have the easiest rest of schedule. And then SSG requires fucking a million different things to happen to get there. I don't know. I think SSG's out of it unless literally all of the stars align for them. Evil Geniuses just needs to get back to playing like EG, and they should be okay. They just have hard games. And then LG and Rec, their destiny's in their own hands in terms of how they perform against their opponents on Wednesday, and then they play each other on Monday to possibly decide who goes to LAN. So it'll be an interesting couple days to see who keeps up their form and who falls off in terms of the LAN race. And then for the relegation spot, I mean, it's anyone's game right now. Rogue at 9 points in 6 because they have the tiebreak. TSM in 7th with 9, and the Sonics in 8th place with 8 points. And, I mean, the Sonics do not have an easy rest of schedule. It's TSM and SSG. TSM obviously has the Sonics and Rogue, so they have the easier road. And then Rogue has TSM and LG. So, I don't know. I think Rogue might actually be in the most danger of being in a relegation spot out of all three of them.
I really feel like out of the two regions, though, right now, that Europe is obviously still a little bit closer. Like, NA is getting there in points, but EU is like, if someone slips one game, it's all over. The only real team that's between right now is, well, the three teams, the Reciprocity, SSG, and Luminosity. But the thing is you basically have two rosters that are dealing with someone new that look better, and then Reciprocity that's in a slump that could jump back up to where they were at any point in time. So it could be, next week Reciprocity is the Reciprocity of the first half of the season, and they just start slamming every team they play for the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's really weird. It's going to be a crapshoot in general because we really don't know the consistent performance of two of these teams, and we know that one of them's in a slump. So, if I had to personally say, like, there's just two teams that I feel more confident in, I would say Luminosity and Reciprocity, because I think Reciprocity is really trying to get back in this. But I think SSG is going to still run into a few problems since, they just got Troy and are trying to learn his IGL style.
Yeah, I don't know. SSG's been a slow incline right now. Like, they've had some weird performances. Like, coming out of the half, right? You start things off with a 6-6 tie against Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a game you should win. But like you said, they're new with Troy. Then they come out and slam
It's different
Rec.
when it's an IGL, man. It's different when it's an IGL. Like, that. When you have to take commands from somebody completely new, you have to get used to their mindset and stuff, because those teams that you see that are really, really meshed are used to the calling style of the person that they're working with, or persons, because a lot of people do dual IGL, like one for entry into the building and then one for execution, stuff like that. But it's a whole different ball game when you're talking to somebody new, because the beauty of having a long-standing IGL is you can basically predict what they want you to do. So you can already be like amidst what you're supposed to be doing when they're like checking in on other things, so you can get things done a lot faster.
Yeah, so SSG come out, they tie Rogue, then they slam Rec 7-3, and then they lose to TSM 7-2 out of nowhere. Then they slam LG, and then they tie Dark Zero. So things are looking better, but you have this weird 7-2 loss to TSM on Villa. Mm-hmm. And then, speaking of TSM, might as well get around to it. Jarvis has been benched.
Yep.
Yeah.
For a weird reason as well.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of subtweets going on about Jar, about like he doesn't scrim enough. He's not putting in enough work, and I mean, I don't know, man. He's one of the better players in Pro League, really. Like, he's definitely not on the bottom end.
Okay, you also got to put this in here. You also have to put this in here. That his online performance compared to a DreamHack performance was subpar, whereas at DreamHack, like we talked about it, Jarvis had a lot of moments where he clutched up rounds, but he still went 4 and 10. But the three of those kills were inside a round that he clutched in a 1v3, so it meant something, So it's really weird because I don't know if it's maybe just when he got home he had more stuff to do or something. But again, it's completely different as to how often, say, you and I would scrim comparative to how much a PL team's going to scrim.
Mm-hmm.
So, because, it's a full-time job, whereas you don't really have that luxury in CL.
My big thing as well is Gotcha's performance has not been stellar.
It's been abysmal.
It has not been fantastic, and I mean Jarvis's performance as well in his games in the back half with TSM weren't better. They also just weren't that terrible for a support player. I mean, he went 4-8 against EG, and he went 11-7 against LG.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had a good game against LG, he had a bad game against EG, and then they drop him, and they put in Gotcha. The first game that Gotcha played was that 7-2 win over SSG, so things feel good, obviously. But, I mean, Gotcha went 6-6 on flex rolls. And then Dark Zero, everyone knows the scoreline from that game. 1-9. Not great. And then you go to today's game against Reciprocity, where he was also negative. He was 5-11 today against Rec. Again, on flex rolls. He's not hard support. He's not entry, but he's got opportunities to pick up kills. And I mean, if you're basing performance on kills, which a lot of people have been doing lately, comparing Jarvis and Gotcha, then I don't see the improvement. I mean, Gotcha obviously fragged the fuck out on EG when he subbed in for the games that Geo couldn't play. But he was also on Ashe. Like, he was pure entry. He was replacing Geo and going the fuck off. Like, it's different when the roles are different. And for Gotcha, I don't think he's tailored to be a flex player. I think, honestly, he's more of an entry. And you've already got 3. You have Achieve, Bolo, and Mark. What do you need a 4th fucking entry for? Poj and Jar have been supports together for a very long time, so I'm surprised that they wanted to fuck with the formula that won them DreamHack Montreal, first of all. And that honestly looked like the most consistent back end they've had in a long time. Before this, it was Bio and Crusher, and no offense to either of them, but they certainly weren't putting up Poj and Jarvis numbers. You know, they're very different players in terms of their playstyle and how they perform in their roles, but Jesus, man. Poj and Jarvis together looked pretty fucking nasty. And you can't be hanging your supports out to dry and then blaming them for being negative at the end of the day. Like, if you're hanging out your supports, the same thing's going to happen to Gotcha when he's on that like support flex role. He's Thatcher or Legion or Mozzie or Maverick. Like, he's in this supportive flex position where he's got to fucking help out the team, and he can't go entry and die, because if he dies, then something integral to the strategy fucking falls apart. So I don't...
Gotta play super safe and drone. That's your job.
Yeah, right? And for Gotcha, I just see him as more of an entry, and I like, the reciprocity experiment seems to have faltered a little bit this season. Worked out well in Season 9. Season 10, not so much. I don't know, just having that many fraggers on the team just seems pointless. And I don't know, it's coming from a support player, so maybe I'm a little biased here, but like, I liked the duo.
We'll get to you in a minute. Okay?
I don't know. I feel like the tandem with Jarvis and Pojo was much better chemistry with the team, considering they've played on a team before. Gotcha hasn't played on a team with any of these people before. I don't know. It seems like a weird fucking change.
It just felt like they had that existence on defense.
Yeah.
Honestly. You know, like, it felt like if it did get down to that 2v4 situation, you'd still keep them in the fight. You know what I mean?
Well, one of the most peculiar things today is that in the game against Reciprocity, they had Merc on fucking Maestro. Like, yeah, give Merc 81 bullets, sure, but the role he has to play is sit on site and don't fucking die. That's not Merc. That's not Bolo. That's not Achieve.
Maestro, yeah.
Like, what? Like, what? That's not their role. That's not how they play.
Merc is an Ash Yeager, man. That's literally what Merc is.
And they made that change specifically because Gotcha doesn't play that role, but Jarvis does. So I'm just, I don't know. This is all from the outside. I haven't spoken to any of them about the roster move or any reasoning behind that. And even if I did, I wouldn't leak that shit. But like, this is from an outside perspective, so take it with a grain of salt. As plenty of people have said this last week, you never really know what roster moves look like from the inside. You can only see them from the outside. But from the fucking outside, it looks dumb. I can say that much.
Yep.
From the outside,
I
it
can
does
completely
not
agree with you.
look like I don't think Gotcha's a bad player. I don't think this has
No.
anything to do with Gotcha. You could put player X and player Y in for their fucking names. Player Y plays supportive roles. Player X doesn't. You made your fragger change to a support role so that player X could come in and play a flex role. Like, don't fuck with the formula. The formula won you a spot to the Invitational, for fuck's sake. Like, why are you fucking with the formula after one bad game? It just...
Yeah, well, I mean, Reciprocity also did the same thing.
It's fair.
A long time ago with Goddess.
Yeah.
They had their 2 support in tandem, ended up winning DreamHack.
Montreal.
Actually,
last year.
DreamHack Montreal, and then drop Goddess, pick up Skies, and then Skies now plays a weirdly supportive smoke role, but on offense he's playing like IQ and well, actually no, that's more of a laxing thing. Just he plays a bunch of different flex things.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that entire team is one big flex machine on offense, and then on defense they kind of keep the like smoke on Skies, and everybody else just plays whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's really it. Whereas before they had obviously Goddess and it was just Thermite, Habana, and then on defense she was like Smoke or Maestro, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, the names don't really mean a whole lot to me here in this situation. It's the balance, it's the chemistry, it's your building blocks of your team. Do you have enough support players who can play that way? No. Okay, you're fucked. Like you're just fucked. Like what? What are you doing? You get your fucking Maestro peeking windows, or you get your fucking Smoke peeking windows and dying off rip. Well, yeah, you're probably gonna lose a lot of fucking rounds. Like it's just, I don't know, man. Like Jarvis must have done something incredibly stupid for this to have happened. I refuse to believe it's off of scrim or game performance. Like, it's got to be something personal or something to do with communication or attitude. Like, this is not performance based. It can't be. He hasn't been so atrocious that you drop him and fuck up your whole routine and all of your roles and all of your setup. Like, for anyone who doesn't play competitive, basically when you build a setup as a team, when you build like a strategy for a site on defense, or you're building an attack plan, everyone has their own little job. And it's really rough at first because no one's gone through the motions and done the job like 50,000 times. But the more you scrim, the more you dry run, and the more you perfect your efficiency at completing your task, the better your team becomes as a whole, because everyone does their job in tandem. They know where everyone's going to be. You're always in the same place at the same point in the round. Like, you get this fluidity of it. You get this memorization. It almost becomes like second nature to you. But when you move someone from one role to another in that setup, not only you have to teach the new person what the fuck they're supposed to do, the old person then has to go to a role they've never done before. They've seen their teammate play it before, and if you're a good team, you know where your players and your teammates are supposed to be at certain points. But you're never actively being like, oh, buddy's downstairs in this corner while I'm upstairs doing my job. Like, you're doing your job, and they're doing theirs. You have to relearn how to do the entire setup. It fucks your whole setup. Like, it would fuck up an entire map for any team to just immediately drop someone from one role and put them on a different role. And that's exactly what TSM just did. And when you're trying to stay out of a fucking relegation spot, that doesn't seem like the time to do it. Like, I get you're desperate, right? You don't want to get put in a relegation spot. Let's be honest. No team in NACL is beating TSM in a best of 3, first of all. So don't panic too hard and fucking blow it all up. And number 2, like, this is not the move to be made. You don't need another fragger. You don't need another entry playing on flex rolls or anything like that. Like, the formula was fine. Just trust the process. You got young kids on the team who need to grow still. Like, fuck. I don't know, man. I don't get it. Anyway, that's our piece on the TSM move.
Yup.
Also, I don't think it has anything to do with like Gacha trying to snake roster spots. I see like the whole community has like turned on Gacha.
That
Dude,
was so dumb.
I don't know where the fuck that came from. I mean, obviously I know where the fuck it came from, but I mean, like, that hasn't. Even if that did have something to do with it, just be mad about it for the right reasons, I guess. Like, I don't
Yeah,
think Gotcha's
actually,
going in there. Like, I don't think Gotcha's going in there trying to actively snake teams. So what if he looked around for a roster spot as a player? Wouldn't you? Like, if you're a player being a coach right now, yeah, you probably still want to play. And given the performance Gotcha had on fucking EG while he was subbing in for games, yeah, you flex that a little. You see if you can get a playing spot. Like, of course you would. Who wouldn't? Who's just going to sit there on the bench? Like, I wouldn't. And yeah, he found a coaching role and now he's playing. Like, that's... I'm just more about the team for making the move in general.
Poja did the same thing. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, no one's mad at Poj. They dropped Crusher for, quote, confidence issues and put Pojo in and the team got better. And honestly, this just comes back to winning solves all problems. But you want to know why I'm fine with the Pojo move and I'm not fine with the Gotcha move? Because Pojo and Crusher are both breach and support players. They play the same fucking role! You don't fuck your whole team chemistry by making the change. It's one person slotting into the same slot, doing the same thing, completing the same tasks. Gotcha coming in fucks it wide open, and I don't like that. That's the difference. But you're right. Pojo did come in and take Crusher's spot after being dropped by Dark Zero. Gotcha got dropped by EG. He came to TSM and took Jarvis's spot. I have my reasons for being mad about it, which are more about team performance and team chemistry. And then Twitch chat is just typing snake emojis every time Gotcha dies, and I'm just like, what? Why? What the fuck are you doing? I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I really don't. It's just such a stupid take. It's such a stupid drama fest. I don't fucking get it, man. Okay, are we done with the cesspool that is North America? Or do you want to do Challenger League for NA?
I think it's time to talk about Shrug.
Is it time to talk about Shrug?
Yeah, I guess it's time to talk about Shrug.
All right.
Yeah. So, it's a Shrug report, everyone.
This is the Shrug report.
Shrug played Two-Face this week.
Yes, we did.
Of CL. And they immediately went up 5-1 on defense. No, on
attack.
Offense. On offense, on border. Whereas I went, what the fuck is actually happening? Because honestly, they did not look that good on offense for the earlier parts of the season. But
yeah,
it really did help that Filthy completely just like shot himself in the foot somehow.
Yeah.
As opposed to how he was playing.
I don't know what was going on with that. He was running his mouth a little bit before the game too. And I'm just like, all right, you want to do that? And all right. I don't know. I saw a lot of people giving Filthy shit. I'm not going to attack on, but he had a bad day and it clearly affected them in our game. Yeah,
you only had 4 kills that game, but you had 1 kill that everyone was kind of like, well.
Oh, in the border game? Yeah. The clip went around on Twitter. If anyone missed it, basically, I don't know why everyone's so confused about it. I even talked about it in the interview after. But basically, like, we just had a Valk cam in the fucking dome in Fountain, or in Office, and I was just looking into Fountain with it, and I saw 2 people lined up on one another. We were defending vent work, and I was on mute with an SMG-11. I was just checking that cam, seeing if I could throw a nitro cell. And then I saw 2 people on top of each other. I'm like, what if I just shoot through the floor instead of using the nitro and waiting for him to move? I know where he is. So I get off the cam, and I'm shooting for the buck, but I hit the fucking creators in the head as the Thatcher through the floor, and everyone kind of, like, lost their shit at that. And then everyone was like, what kind of call-out was that? I'm like, comms were dead quiet. Like, no one was talking. I was just getting on and off the cam myself and lined it up myself. Like, no one pinged for me, no one called for me.
It's such a usual spot, too. Like, it looks really weird, like, when you just run over there and do it, but as a support player as well, that's such a routine thing to open up that line of sight for the door. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that kid got gamed on. Like, 100% that kid got gamed on. That was about it.
I hope he was upset because literally, like, the entire comms for that, like,
how do you feel when you die? That, you know, it is like the fly-in cam to you.
Yeah,
and it's just you standing in workshop, and he's just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I was the only one talking. Really, I was just calling off the cams, and then I looked at them and I didn't say anything. So I just got off the cam, went over, shot him, and I was like, oh. Good fucking night. Then I went back on the cams and then we won the round. So I was like, hey, I got my opener. I got my frag. Rest of the team followed suit. I was pissed, though, because I wanted to get the buck because we were playing Vent in Workshop, so it's like, I got to keep myself safe on site because they had a Capitao and a buck, and they fucking destroyed us the first time we defended there with those ops, so... I was looking to protect myself and my little teammates, and that didn't fucking happen because the buck still fucking ripped up the floor, and we died. It came down to a 1v1. The buck was still alive at the end there, so I don't know. We got away with the win. We went up to that 5-0 lead, and we were just all like shocked. We were just like, "What?
I was
fuck
shocked.
I
was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
We were like, so
well,
I said,
honestly, it was a lot to do with like for some reason Chase was just getting gunfights. Like, Chase wasn't being like overly aggressive before you guys got like walls open or anything, but like people were just like walking into his line of sight, dude. And of course, like Chase being Chase, like he can't control recoil, but he's got really good reaction time. Like, Thatcher players, dude. Thatcher players.
I said it in the interview too. We were getting slammed all fucking weekend scrims. Like we were just getting bodied left and right. Every single day was like everyone was on suicide watch at the end of the game. Like, we were just fucking demoralized as fuck. So we went into the game basically with zero expectations and zero hope, and we were just like, we looked at the map bans, and we got Border, and then, what the fuck was, oh, map 2 was Coast, yeah. We looked at Border and Coast, and we were like, they're okay maps for us, I guess. Alright, just do our shit, I guess. I don't fucking know. And then we went up 1-0 on that. They went bathroom tellers off rip, and we were just like, okay, you banned Thermite and then went bathroom whatever. So we fucking pieced apart that. Me and Wrath had to clutch up a 2v3 post plan to win that round. But after we did, we were just like, okay, that was weird. Hopefully they don't do that again. And they didn't. So we were like, okay, this is more normal. Okay. And then, yeah, they couldn't hold Armory. They couldn't hold CC on us. We were just, I don't know. We've never had so much success getting through CC in our lives. That was fucking weird. But yeah, we were up 5-0 at one point, and then lost the last attacking round. And we were just like, I don't know, dude. Let's try and close this out and not have another fucking Rise situation where we're up 6-2 and throw the game. So that was kind of our only focus, really, was getting those 2 rounds to be able to close it out, and it took a while to get there, but I don't know. And then on Coast, that was just a back and forth fest. Every single fucking round, back and forth.
Well, you got points. That's all that matters. I think, are you guys top of CL right now, or who's top of CL?
We are in second. Obey is in first.
Very nice.
Obey is 4-0. We are 2-2-0. Rise is right below us, but we have the tie break over them. They're 2-1-1. They won both their games last week. Yes. They won both their games on Friday.
Tie, forehead.
Yeah. I don't know. We've had 2 ties, and I don't know. The tie against Rise obviously hurts because we were up 6-2 on that map, and we lost 4 in a row. The tie against 2F, though, we had to come back. Like, we were down 6-5, and we had to clutch up the round to win it to at least get a point out of it. So, I don't know. Much closer game on Coast than it was on Border. Again, I don't know what the fuck was going on with Filthy. Some of the other games, though, Disrupt is kind of bad right now. I don't know how else to put that. They're much worse than I anticipated they would be.
Well, they also kind of got poached, so.
I mean, so did we, and we're above the people who got poached from our team, so.
Yeah, well, the people that got poached also are, gone as well, so that sucks.
Not yet. So, Akatsuki dropped Benji instead of Talon.
I saw that.
Yes, Akatsuki, after drawing and winning against Orglis, formerly known as Parallax Gaming, who are also 0-1-3 and have 1 point right now. They dropped Benji and they picked up, who the fuck did they pick up? There are a bunch of rumors going around whether it was going to be between like Crusher or Carnage. I don't remember who we already said they picked up. Let me go check.
Are you talking about Akatsuki?
Oh, they picked up Pixel. Right.
Yeah, they picked up Pixel,
Right.
That's a very weird move as well, because Pixel's doing absolute dog in Pro League.
Yeah.
So this is the same dude that like 2 weeks ago tweeted that he was taking a break from video games and that he was living a better life and he wasn't looking back, and then all of a sudden he's in CL.
Yeah, I don't really know what their problem is. Honestly, it looks like they've just all been underperforming a lot. Prophecy's pretty young, and he's new to comp. This is his rookie season. So
rookie season for CL. He's been playing comp siege for like a year and some change.
Yeah, I mean, in comparison to our, like, we also have 3 CL rookies on the team, and Chase and Mex only played 1 season last season on the worst team in CL. So like, we're also pretty rookie in comparison to some of the other teams out there, but a lot of the league is this year.
How's those CL shakes, Flynn?
Nah, I got nothing. I'm just going in there to work, man.
You want to tell me why you guys banned Jackal?
Because we have 3 crackheads on our team who like to do dumbass shit, and not knowing where they are is pretty nice.
Also, Jackal's just very fucking annoying. But yes, I completely agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, if you look at our op bans, it's literally just like Jackal or Nomad. Pick one. That's what we're banning. It's like we just have dumbasses on our team who like to do dumbass shit, and it's like, all right, it works. Fuck it. Get rid of the ops that stop us from doing dumbass shit, and we'll win.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
go. The rest of the league, though, for CL for NA, Rise beat DG 7-5 and 7-1. Obey picked up 2 dubs 7-4 against Adventure Force, so the Suzaku Reign of Terror comes to an end. We obviously beat 2F and tied 2F 7-3 on Border, 6-6 on Coast, and then, like I said, Akatsuki 7-1 and then 6-6 tie against Orglis. So right now the standings are Obey in first with 12 points, 4-0. Us in second place, 2-2-0, 8 points. Rise in third, 2-1-1, 7 points. Akatsuki 1-2-1, 5 points in fourth. Two-Face 1-2-1 with 5 points in fifth. Adventure Force at sixth right now, 1-1-2. So they took 2 L's and fell pretty deep in the standings there. DG at 0-1-3, 1 point. And in last place, former Parallax Gaming, Orglis, 0-1-3, 1 point.
I don't think anybody had that. So
no.
There you go.
No.
I don't even think you had that, and you're on the fucking team.
No. None of us had this coming out as the result. I don't know. I think Obey has started off pretty strong, but the 2 teams they've played so far have been pretty weak in their performance. They picked up 2 wins against the last place team in week 1, and they picked up 2 wins against the 6th place team in week 2. Versus us, we played the 3rd place team and the 5th place team now. So we've I don't know. I feel like we've played harder competition, and we get to play Obey in week 4 next Monday. Next Monday? It's next Wednesday. My bad. Play Friday, and then Wednesday, and then Monday, and then Wednesday, I think. No, then Friday, then Monday. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's weird how it changes up.
Yeah, they condensed the schedule, because why not? I don't know. Next week, Adventure Force plays Rise. We play Akatsuki. DG plays Obey, so the struggle bus for Disrupt might not end anytime soon, and then Orglis plays 2F, so the struggle bus for Orglis might not end anytime soon for them either. Yeah, we got teams who might be deep in the hole off rip, and just a reminder for anyone who doesn't know about the format change for this season of Challenger League, there are no more Challenger League playoffs. So just finishing top 4 is not good enough anymore. If you finish top 4, you still keep your spot for next season, but you got to be in one of the top 2 places to compete in the relegations to get to Pro League, and right now it would be Obey in first and us in second for relegation spots if the season ended today. But obviously, there's still 5 weeks, 10 games left to be played. We're not even at the halfway point, so no time to start counting bills before they're actually in your bank account.
All right, well, I guess it's time we hop over to the European side of things, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get it then. Let me get these 2 results up real quick.
Today was fucking dumb. That's all you need to know.
Today, I'm well aware. I'm well aware. All right, so
dumb.
let's start things, shall we? So we're gonna start with the. Why are these in reverse order? This is weird. It has the G2 Navi game is like the first game that was played, but it wasn't. It was which game was it first? It was Sisu Penta or
Empire Chaos.
Okay, so it goes Empire Chaos, Sisu Penta, Team Vitality, Vodafone, then G2 Navi, right?
Vitality, Vodafone second. Then
okay, whatever. We'll just go from bottom up. I don't care. That's way too complicated.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, so first things first today, we have Nautilus Vincere versus G2 Esports, which Flynn already got wrong because Pi is in for Navi. So obviously he chose G2, then Navi won. So Pi is definitely doing a very, very good job of filling Doki's space. We'll get to that here in a little bit after we get done with EU guys. We know you guys also want to hear about that. But Pi's doing his job. That's all he needs to do. He went 5-10 today. Like obviously not a great CGG in a 0.64, but Goga had a 0.62. So I mean, hey, whatever. Then moving on to the next match, we had Sisu versus Penta. Penta ended up winning that 7-5. That map was Clubhouse, where they actually split really weird. They split trending towards the offensive side.
Yeah, it was a weird game.
Yeah, and then we had Chaos versus Team Empire. Excuse me, not Team Empire. Chaos ended up just dropping one of their members recently. Yep. They dropped Crips and put next one in. They benched him originally. They benched Crips originally. But after the stellar performance from next one on their last matchup, they ended up sticking with him, and for good reason.
Yeah, Crips has been a little quiet lately. I feel for him. I've actually known him for a very long time. So I feel for him. I hope he finds a new team. I don't think he'll have any problems doing that. I'm sure there's even a couple Challenger League teams who might pick him up after relegations and maybe for next season. Obviously, roster lock still exists, so he can't go to any other Pro League team this season, and he can't go to any Challenger League team this season either. So, yeah.
It's a long road to get back.
Actually, wait, what? How's Pixel allowed to be? What? Hold on, I have to go look at the fucking rulebook again. There's some rule about it in the rulebook.
I was actually just thinking about that.
Yeah, wait. What? Hold on. I have to go look at the rule book. Anyway, keep talking about EU while I go grab the rule book.
All right, well, while you grab the rule book, we'll talk about the weirdest one of today. You ready?
Sure.
Team Vitality 7-0's Vodafone Giants.
Yeah, that was also insane. That was on Cafe, too. Like that. Like, yes, they started on the defense, but they won all 6 defenses, and you're just kind of sitting there like, are you sure about that? Like, what the fuck happened?
Well, let me tell you, it was in pretty handed fashion, because here's how the CGGs went for Team Vitality. Are you ready?
Sure.
Bibu, 0.77. Stiggy, 1.32.
Oh, Lord.
Brid, 1.56. Spark, 1.65. Qual, 1.88.
Yeah, we've been talking about how maybe Stiggy hasn't been performing all that hot. Qual also just had a banger of a fucking game. That dude was insane today. And
he was in Habana.
Yeah. No, it was interesting. All right. Fuck. There's something in here. I don't remember where it is.
And my favorite thing about lining up like CGG stats is that right now you could actually cut everyone under aces on Vodafone Giants and put them on the other team, and they would still be under Bibu.
Yeah.
So not a very good match today for them.
Oh, never mind. It says in the rulebook, a Pro League player that leaves a Pro League team can join Challenger League teams even outside of the transfer window. Never mind. Okay, so he can go to a Challenger League team. I thought there was some rule against that. But, nope, he can go where the fuck he wants. If anyone wants to know the rules, actually, it's 2.10.5.5 about the transfer window. So, a Pro League player can only join another Pro League team inside the transfer window. A Pro League player that leaves a Pro League team can join a Challenge League team outside. A Challenge League team or a Challenge League player cannot join a Pro League team outside of the transfer window. So, we're not going to talk about how Factor made it to LG. A Challenge League player can join another CL team, even outside the window. And then outside of the transfer window, Pro League teams can pick up a free agent. Free agents are defined by not being signed by a Pro League team or a Challenger League team. And then a Pro League player that participates in Challenger League qualifiers cannot play Pro League matches in the current season, and that is why Salamander got DQ'd for using Sir Boss, who played Pro League games under Penta, then got dropped, and then played a qual game with Salamander for the 4th qual to get them into Challenger League, and then they got DQ'd because lol. Yeah. So anyway, that's a refresher on the transfer window rules for anyone who needed it, because apparently so did I.
All right. Well, we kind of did our EU wrap up. It was a really weird day. The standings are now kind of weird. I'll tell you guys that real quick, and then we'll move on. So we're just going to cut the head off the snakes that are Penta, Chaos, and Sisu. Sisu's way out of it. Like, there's no mathematical way they can possibly get out of relegation now. So
I was wrong.
Yeah, Flynn was sadly wrong, but
Why'd Peepo sad?
But it was also very, very weird because Chaos and Penta were just like, hey, fuck everything, we're fighting out of this.
Yeah.
So those two are still in the running for possible relegation, but Chaos or Penta will definitely be one of them.
Yeah.
Because their Vitality's already out of reach. And this is where things are going to get weird. So Vitality's at 19 points. Empire's at 22 points. G2's at 22 points. Navi's at 24 points. And Vodafone are at 28. So literally any one of these teams could be first and second.
And there's some interesting shit with tie breaks right now. So G2 currently holds the tie break over the Giants. They do not hold the tie break over Na'Vi, and they do hold the tie break over Empire. So right now, if you're going to end up in some crazy fucking draw scenario where like 4 teams draw for the first spot, which is actually still possible, hilariously, you've got you've got tie breaks in the favor of G2, and you've got tie breaks in the favor of the Giants. Right now it's 6-6 between the Giants and Empire. The Giants hold the tie break 14-5 over Na'Vi, and for G2, like I said, they don't have the tie break. So G2 and the Giants have the most amount of tie breaks between the 4 of them. So if there was some crazy tie scenario, you're going to see those two making it in. The rest of the schedule for the Prophecy to be completed. It's not actually out of reach right now for G2, not by any stretch of the imagination. Empire plays Na'Vi, and that kind of fucks with things in terms of G2 making it, because you don't want either of those teams to get points. So if you're G2 right now, you're praying with all your heart that Na'Vi and Empire tie, and that you win your game against the Giants. The Giants also have not mathematically clinched a spot because of those tie breaks. So it's a little dicey right now for the Giants. They can still tie in 28 points with a couple other teams and be knocked out in terms of tie breaks. It would have to be like the most magical fucking star alignment scenario. So you're probably going to see the Giants clinch next week. Not because they're going to beat G2. Like, they could still lose to G2 and clinch. They just need another team to drop out that has a tiebreak over them, and then they don't have to worry about it. And then, of course, the last game of the season for Empire and the Giants will also decide their tiebreak. Ties are the death for everyone right now. You need all 6 points right now to stay in it for the race to Japan. Na'Vi getting the win today, that was huge. They were down 5-0. Man. They were down fucking 5-0 and won 7 rounds in a row. I don't get it. I just... I was so close! The Prophecy was so fucking close. God damn it. I'm upset. So, EU play on Friday. And right now, Vitality will play Penta, and then Vitality plays Sisu. So they'll get some freebie points.
We have a guy with 15 questions, by the way.
I saw that. We're not answering all 15. Don't even kid yourself. We're not answering all 15.
Don't ever do that ever again.
Don't ever do that. I'm gonna start making rules about how many questions you can ask. Because that's no. Go fuck yourself.
Oh my god, that's a fucking ridiculous amount of questions, my dude. You're a very curious guy. Jesus Christ.
And in terms of the relegations for EU, it looks like Penta's kind of fucked. So Chaos plays Sisu, who are officially in a relegation spot, and they can't get out of it. And they can't get out of 8th, so they're locked in 8th. They're not going anywhere. That kind of sucks for them. I thought they were going to be able to make it out, but oh well. So Sisu probably don't really give a fuck about the last 2 games. So Chaos gets probably a free win against Sisu, and then Vitality gets a free win against Sisu. But Penta has to play Vitality, who are still playing for bragging points, and then Penta has to play G2 in the run to LAN. So it looks like Penta most likely will be in that 7th spot. Chaos will retain their spot after dropping Crips, especially if they play like the way they did today. Holy fuck, against Empire, that was insane. Just looked like Empire was incredibly off their game, like they have been the last little while, and Empire is in serious danger of not making it to Japan at this rate if they keep playing the way they have. And then for any other teams in EU, you're kind of just...
had to refill my vape real quick so I could actually breathe, because Poland is Poland.
Yup. Poland is
Oh my
Poland.
God.
I'm
This
so
is the only place I vape just so I can breathe. Like,
it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible how much I hated being there and how much I'm so happy that I'm home right now. Have fun in Poland though, man.
Suck a dick.
I like Canada.
Only thing I'm happy I'm doing is, I'm casting pro leagues. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, been there, done that. You saw the Red Bull cans?
Fuck you in your mouth.
Yep. Great.
I have to watch out for the depression wave.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. That shit hit me hard. Poland actually put me into a goddamn fucking sleeper hold.
It did, dude. It did. It got you good.
Yep.
Nothing like gray skies every day and having to like basically put yourself into a caffeine coma in order to get work done.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So then we move on to EU Challenge League. EU Pro League is pretty simple right now in terms of it's win or go home, basically, for a lot of the teams. And there's no scenario like the SSG situation in NA where it's like, hey, we need 95,000 things to happen, but we could still make it. It's like Vitality's fucked. Vitality is just not making it, and they're just kind of in the middle right now.
Vitality can still make it.
Vitality can still mathematically make it, but like they're so dicked. They're so fucking dicked. All right, you want to do the math on what it takes for Vitality to make LAN? Just for the fuck of it?
I mean, I understand there's 2 games left. I mean, if you really just want to just do it like just easily, it's just like this.
Yeah,
if everyone else loses one of their games, they get knocked down to Vitality's level, but Vitality needs Na'Vi, G2, and Empire all to lose their next game. And that's literally can't happen, especially in the last game, because G2 and Empire play each other.
No, the Giants and Empire play each other last week, but G2 and the Giants play on Friday.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, you need everyone to lose, but they play each other. So you need that tie scenario. The problem with that is that you're so far down that your max points is 25, but Na'Vi has 24 right now. So if Na'Vi ties Empire, they get 25, and then you have to go to tiebreak, in which Na'Vi currently holds the tiebreak over them. Like, you're fucked.
Yeah, so it's down to that like 2% chance thing.
Yeah. So you would need then.
What's that office quote? If anything's ever 1 in 10,000 on bets, you take that bet. Yeah.
Actually, I don't think they can't mathematically make it. No, because this Na'Vi Empire game fucks it all up. Because if they tie,
you're completely
then
correct. Yeah,
Na'Vi has tiebreak. Yeah, if they tie, Na'Vi has tiebreak. If Empire wins, Empire has tiebreak. And G2 wins, there's no way for them to not get 25 points now. Like, someone of Na'Vi or Empire is going to get 25 points. There are only 3 possible outcomes of the game. Win for Na'Vi, tie, win for Empire. In any one of those scenarios, someone gets 25 and you're fucked. So, yeah, they're done. So, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Over to Challenge League for EU. We left off last week with the first play day being done. BDS looked pretty good. Secret looked pretty weird. And then on Thursday, last Thursday. Wait, I don't think this has been updated. Wait, when did we do the podcast?
You're asking me questions. I don't have the answers to, sir. I can go look when we uploaded it. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
This is how bad. Shut the fuck up, Siri. What the hell? What the fuck just happened?
I could have swore we've talked about these results already. Hold on.
So 8 days ago.
8? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like I've seen these fucking results before and talked about. Anyway, I'm sorry for having a stroke. BDS is still undefeated. They beat Kekona Kapteri 7-1, 7-3. So they're in the first spot right now at 4-0. Fours 3-1-0. So they haven't lost yet, but they have a draw. Fours beat Syzygy. Again, however the fuck you pronounce that, 7-0, 7-2. Secret, though, in their matchup against Orglis, they beat them 7-1 on Cafe, but they tied Villa 6-6. Yeesh. Okay. Game Ward as well. Showing out a little bit. They beat Trust 7-4 and 7-1.
Yeah. Trust is a sleeper, kind of. But
I mean,
that's what a
in
lot
the
of people
sense that they're
take them
asleep
as.
at the fucking wheel, they're 0-4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're asleep at the fucking wheel.
Like you've
Not,
had two
not
harder
pretty.
games against BDS and Game Reward, but like your rest of schedule doesn't look that much easier. Like you got to play fours this week on Thursday. Then after that, you got to play Kekona Cup Theory, so maybe you get some points back there. And then after that, you got to play Syzygy. Okay, maybe some points back there. But then you got to play Secret, and then you got to fucking play what, BDS? No, Orgless.
I don't see them going to the playoffs.
No,
I don't see them going to the
it looks
playoffs.
like Trust has already lost out. Syzygy with 1 point. It's a very top-heavy EUCL right now.
Yeah.
There's 5 teams that are competing and 3 teams that are cannon fodder, and that's unfortunate. And I mean, it's not as dissimilar to NA. I mean, okay, there's 6 teams competing right now, and there's 2 teams that are cannon fodder. One of them, which was never supposed to be bad in DG in NA. So I don't know. I feel like NA is more wide open because we're all worse than EUCL.
You all suck.
Yeah.
You all suck. Every single one of you sucks.
Yeah, EUCL, however, is top heavy because there's teams that could literally be in Pro League, in Challenger League, versus us. Yep. We're a bunch of shitters.
Yep. You know it's a bunch of shitters when fucking Shrug is second.
Yep. Undefeated, baby.
If Chase makes Pro League, I'm going to kill myself.
We're going 12-2-0, man. We're not losing.
Jesus Christ.
We're not losing.
You think so?
I mean, we got 2 pretty hard games out of the way.
Next game you guys tie, I'm texting you immediately.
Well, I mean, that's not a loss.
Yeah, but you said 12-2-0.
Okay, sure. 12-2-0, baby. Running the table.
Fuck your face, Flynn.
All right. If we tie Akatsuki on Friday, then you have the right to message me.
Okay. I won't even have to message you because it's immediately going to pop in your head. You'll probably use that as your motivational speech before you lose.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going to be like, boys, we cannot lose or tie for the rest of the season, or I'm going to get a text from Sam. Oh, no! Fuck you, fuck ass. All right. That's EU rounded up pretty quickly. Let's go to LATAM quickly. Not a whole lot has changed. There have been a few upsets, though. So let's...
Yeah, Team 1's making a run.
And Elevate won a game.
Hey, yo.
That was fucking weird. Yeah, so...
might be fucking bottom of LATAM. That's insane.
They still got a 3-point buffer, but yeah, it's scary. So yeah, this week, this was last week on the 4th. Okay. So on the 4th, Liquid beat MIBR 7-5, pretty expected. Team 1 beat NIP 7-4, not expected. Elevate beat INT 7-3, not expected. And then FaZe beat Black Dragons 7-4, pretty expected. The run to land right now, like you said, Team 1 is threatening, but the rest of the season for FaZe right now just looks too free. Like, you obviously have to play NIP at the end, and that'll probably end up being a seeding match, but you have MIBR and then INTs, who just lost to Elevate. I mean, try and tell me FaZe isn't going to Japan, and I'll show you a fucking schedule that shows that they are.
Yep.
Like, Team 1 has to play a markedly harder team in Black Dragons than INTs on the 11th, but, I mean, FaZe plays MIBR and Team 1 plays Elevate, so, I mean, those are both free wins. But then on the last play day, Team 1 plays MIBR, so, I mean, they actually have 3 freebies. That's kind of hilarious. I don't know, so what would that give them? That'd give them 9 points. They'd be at 28. So FaZe still needs all they need is 2 out of 3 wins, though. Like, FaZe could lose to NIP and still make LAN if they beat INTs and MIBR, which is certainly within the realm of possibility. So even if Team 1 wins out, they won't make it. But all it takes is one misstep for FaZe to kind of fuck it all up. The relegation spots right now look like they're almost fucking decided, which is terrifying because MIBR is in one right now. They're 1-4-6. And I don't think, again, there's a world in which a LATAM CL team beats MIBR in a best-of-3. But last season's LATAM relegations were the weirdest fucking games I've ever witnessed in my life. So, I don't know. I don't know how to read that one. I'm scared, man. I do not want to see MIBR drop. And I also had much higher hopes for INTs this season, picking up VNX, and he's been quiet lately. And the whole team's been quiet, and that's depressing.
Well, they got a pilot program skin, so I mean, hey.
They got their money. They cashed the fuck out and they're gone.
That's all that matters, dude.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. That's LATAM. We don't have a whole lot to talk about. It's LATAM. It's pretty fucking boring. You know, the 3 teams that have a possibility of making LAN. Like,
all I'm gonna say is Ninjas in Pajamas picked up Gohan and lost to Team 1.
That's all he's gonna say, boys. That's all he's gonna say. All right, fuck it. Let's go to Reddit. Let's do the Q&A. Let's bang this out and get the fuck out of here, boys.
Oh wait, also Flynn's not an oracle. By the way, you're welcome.
I talked about the prophecy.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
They can still make it. Fuck you. Q&A. All right. Let's do this shit. All right. We need like some kind of like stinger for the Q&A. Just like a segue sound. Yeah. Anyway,
we need a segue sound. We need dude, we'll hire Billy Ray Cyrus for it. Why not, dude? Easy.
No bet.
How much could that possibly be?
I don't know, like a couple mil. Wouldn't be that bad.
Nah, dude, no, there's no way. I bet he's on like Fiverr or something. You pay him like $80. And you pay him like $80 and he does a stinger.
Yep.
100%.
All right. Looks like all these questions from Smoothie right here are for me about the CL games, and it's highly upvoted with 12 upvotes. Okay, Smoothie, thank you for asking 4 questions about my fucking CL team. Number 1, who is the IGL for Shrug, and how often do you not listen to them? Chase is primary IGL, and then me and Cloud.
Flynn doesn't listen.
Yeah, and then me and Cloud kind of make our own calls for different portions of stuff. Wrath and Mex just run around and shoot people. How often do you not listen to them? Sometimes. I mean, it depends. Like, things can get pretty clustered in comms. There's always times when we're saying, like, oh, I didn't hear that. Oh, I didn't hear that. Like, people don't listen to me either when I say things. So I'll be like, I called it out. And they'll be like, oh, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, it's because it's one of those things, especially inside of Siege, that there's so many calls that don't concern you that your brain just zones out. And it's like, okay, I'm focused on what I'm doing. That's why, you know, I tell a lot of people when they were coming up as like IGLs and stuff and ask questions about that. It's like, if you need something done, you have to say that person's name in order to get it done correctly, because otherwise they are not going to hear you. So instead of going, hey, can somebody get this wall? I'd be like, hey, Flynn, can you come get this wall? Like, I need you over here for EMPs or for X Kairos charges or whatever. Because otherwise it's not going to fucking happen.
And that's what Chase tells everyone, is just say my fucking name if you need me, or I'll say your fucking name if I need something, but don't just say something generally. And it usually works out. Number 2, how often do the strats call for Cloud to stay on your foreskin? Never. Chase is my cover. Cloud's off doing buck shit.
Cloud's always dead.
Cloud is always dead, actually. Yeah, he sells me out quite a lot. But
and it's because he doesn't stand on Flynn's foreskin.
No, basically the way we have it set up is like a lot of teams where it's like me and Chase are like the support duo, and then the other 3 just kind of run around. It's kind of like a TSM setup where like the 3 fraggers run around and do their shit, and then me and Chase just operate as a unit. 3, what the fuck does Mex eat on game day? I want to be a fucking aim god too. Well, if you saw his performance on Friday, you wouldn't be saying that. Number 4, will loading ever let you guys forget he dropped 17 on Two-Faced? He doesn't talk about it. We don't let him live down that he had a 0.12 CGG rating in a USN game, so it'd be fair if he also didn't let us live down that he dropped 17. His nickname in our Discord is literally Mr. 0.12.
Worst buck NA.
Yeah, we changed it from worst buck NA to Mr. 0.12. Because that is, again, for anyone who missed that episode, the lowest recorded rating in North American history by CGG. Moving on.
This is garbage.
Very garbage. Sijakov 16, how do you guys think the meta for site takes executes would change if you couldn't plant past the timer? As someone who plants, you'd probably be seeing a lot more Legion. Legion would probably just be everywhere. I don't think you'd ever. You'd probably start banning Legion, honestly. Like, he could probably take away a ban from,
he already gets banned
Maestro.
Sometimes because he's so fucking annoying.
Yeah. Legion would have a lot of play. Nitro cells, they're already important. Like, a lot of the Plantinal utility would just be amplified, I think, for late round, and you'd be saving it a lot later, right? Like, you wouldn't.
There's a reason why you can plant into the overtime in this game compared to like Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Because when somebody throws a fucking smoke or stun grenade into sight, it doesn't stop you from planting. Like, they have to hit you with like a Molotov. You don't have some fucking floating camera that's invisible that can just hit you and be like, "Hot, fuck you. That's 7 seconds, bitch." Like, no.
Now you'd be seeing like smokes would probably come out a little bit earlier, like instead of the 45-second mark or the minute mark, you're probably talking like 110, 120, just because
I mean,
you
as
don't
you,
need
as
to
you
wait.
know, you're already making like decisions based off of how the rounds flowing. Like
Yeah.
if it's a massive thing to say like kill one of their entries, like they have a Montang and that's like the crux of their push. If you can dump all 3 smokes and kill him, that is completely worth it.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
always situational.
Yeah, it's always situational. I think that's something that, as 2 resident smoke mains, me being forced onto it and you for some reason fucking loving it.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate not having a gun I can shoot people with.
I hate it as well. If they're not in close medium-ish range, you're losing that gunfight. You are so fucked.
I mean, I can snipe with the SMG-11. It's
You can burst it, but you like, as you know, if you burst it once and you don't hit them properly, you're dead.
I can full auto with the thing at range. That's the reason I get put on that.
Whole clip.
Yeah, I can.
You can't land there's no way you can hit a whole clip on one person.
Yeah.
At like good range. You're talking like from 90 to the top of East Stairs on border.
Yeah, I could do that. I've done it from inside archives to CCTV before.
I can get it with like the 3/4 of it, but when it gets that like tail end where it gets like super squirrely to like one side, when it like
you just got to pull down to the left. Right. Yeah, you just got to pull down to the left at the end. You just got to map your spray so that. I mean,
but you shouldn't need that anyways. It's the SMG-11. You already hit him 10 times in the first fucking pull.
I can laser with the SMG, man. It ain't that bad. I'm just the only one on the team who can fucking use the thing without looking like you're goddamn holding onto a goddamn rocket launcher. So it's the reason I get put on that role.
Everybody, as they come up through competitive and just Siege in general, like getting better at it, everyone should be a smoke main for at least 1 month just so they know what it's like.
Oh, hell yeah. We actually did that back in the day on Powerhouse. We did that for a while because we were having a lot of conflict on the team. This is actually good advice for anyone who's new to Siege and you may be having like some bickering going on within the team. This happens a lot where fraggers and support players will kind of turn into 2 different camps and they'll go at each other about like performance and stuff. And obviously the first argument coming out of every support player's mouth is, that's not my job. That's your job. Do your fucking job. And then the fragger's response will be, you have no idea what I'm going through. You want to know what? You don't know. Well, no, you don't know what they're going through. So what we did back on Powerhouse is we had a dedicated day every week for scrims where we would cycle roles. So supports would go to frag would go to support, flexes would change every couple rounds. And basically, you would have to do their job. And you would have to learn what they go through and experience what they go through. And we did that for like 3 weeks, and the argument stopped. Because finally, there was some recognition on both sides of like, holy fuck, this is hard. I'm sorry for like unfairly calling you out. Like, you don't understand like what happens when 3 people condense on you with like a jackal, 3 flashbangs, and a lion when you're on roam. Like, you don't win that. Like, you just don't. But a support player who doesn't see that happening is gonna be like, oh my god, you fucking died in 30 seconds again. And it's like, yeah, no shit, man. No shit. I got fucking anal with no lube. Like, what do you want me to do? So I don't know. That's the thing that helped us back then.
He fucked me.
Like, that was the one thing that really saved us from like imploding as a team. So if you guys are on any comp teams that start going through struggles like that, where your support players and your fraggers are starting to get at each other, just have a day where you cycle roles and make them experience what you go through and experience what they go through. And there'll be a lot of understanding on both sides.
That's the beauty of having flex players, man, because they know the goddamn struggle.
Santos.
Nothing's worse than just standing in a wall, as you'll know, Flynn, with Chase. Nothing's worse than standing in a wall going, all right, we have everything set up to breach this, but Chase is in fucking Narnia. And you're like,
oh,
Chase, yeah. I need you, you dipshit. Like, get the fuck over here.
Happens all the time.
Standing there with your fucking dick in your hand. Like, okay, the more we stand here, the more people rotate back into sight. And now there's going to be like one guy on the fucking door when I go for this wall. I'm going to die. Like, oh my God.
All right, Santos, number 1, why'd you make a Patreon instead of an OnlyFans? Because people would pay me to keep my clothes on and not take them off. Number 2, is Flynn a psychic? Clearly not. I almost was.
By the way, I'd say the same thing if it wasn't for that chick that tried to pay me for my,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anyways, yeah.
Do you think Rec can make Japan and not too comfortable with the remaining schedule? You should be. Rogue and LG? That's doable.
Absolutely doable.
Yeah. Number 4, how does Shrug structure a team practice or a VOD review session? So practices are just like dry runs or scrims. So we just have practice every night at 8. And then VOD review session, we don't review VODs as a team. We all just go and review VODs separately and kind of run it back later and talk about it the next day. So like on Fridays when we have game day, we'll probably play the game, talk for about an hour, watch some of the other games that are going on. If we're the early game, if we're the late game, we'll watch the games and talk to each other while we're scrimming and warming up for our games. And then we'll probably talk for like an hour after the games and then get off. And then most of us will go back and watch the VODs right as we go to bed. And then the next day we'll all get together and just talk about like what we saw, things that we should change. But there's no like all of us sitting in one call watching the VOD or anything like that. We like to watch things at our own pace and just kind of come up with our own ideas. Eternal Life. What's the most underrated site out of all the Pro League sites? Bar Stock on Club, and you will never change my mind.
Up.
You will never change my mind.
Shut the fuck up. Stop talking. Stop talking. You're wrong.
All right, what's your most underrated bomb site?
Split site on Consulate.
That's pretty trash.
You're pretty trash.
Number 2, for Shrug, what is the team structure? Example, generally who entries, who flexes, who roams, who offside anchors.
I got it.
Go for it.
I got it. It's fucking you and your boy Chase as the supports, and you have Cloud as flex, and you have Mex and Wrath as your entries.
There you
Easy. Go. Boom. It's the default setup, boyos. No triple flex, 1 hard support, and 1 entry. None of that shit.
Yeah, we've done some 1-3-1s before.
Yeah, I was gonna say, should we start making formations for?
I mean, that's like that's what I call it
2,
in
2,
general.
1?
Yeah, the 2-1-2. Like I used to actually call it when I was running stats back in the day on floors. So like if you were on Chalet, you'd have like 2 people roam top, 1 person roam kitchen, 2 people roam below, or it'd be like 2-2-1 from top to down, 2-1-2, 3-1-1, stuff like that.
It's the I formation.
Yeah, you could literally call some of these formations like they kind of all look like formations.
They kind of are, yeah, if you really think about it. Huh? I've never really thought about it that way. That's interesting.
Yeah. James Maiello.
I might start doing that during cast now. I'll be like, oh, this is the 2-1-2 formation.
Yeah. This is the 2-2-1 formulation formation. That's
this is a good year. This is August of 2017.
All right. James Maiello. This is an 8-part question. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm limiting this to like 3 per person next week.
3. Yeah.
Why is LATAM only Brazil? There are plenty of other countries, but all the players are Brazilian. So there's 2 parts to this answer. Number 1, it's not just Brazil. Anyone from South America can participate. There's a whole list of, actually, here, I'll pull it up for you. There's a whole list of countries that can participate in Latin American Pro League and Challenger League. There was an Argentinian team at one point in the SI quals last year. But if you really wanted to know, I will pull up the list of countries that can participate as soon as I find the rule book. Here we go. So, teams must have at least 5 members with residence in one of the following countries: Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, Puerto Rico, Paraguay, El Salvador, Uruguay, Venezuela. Those are all the countries that can participate in Latin American Challenger League and Pro League. The reason that they are all Brazilian right now, and I don't have the stats on which of those countries speak Portuguese and which of them don't, but the best team coming out of LATAM before LATAM Pro League was even acknowledged or run by ESL or anything was Santos Dexterity, the team that went to the first Invitational, which is now FaZe, but like not really, but like it then turned into FaZe. The reason that LATAM is all Brazilian right now is because all the players in the beginning were Brazilian. So if you have any of those other countries that I don't know if they speak Portuguese or not, you can probably get away with it. But yeah, that's just kind of the thing. It's kind of like how in the early days of EU, everything was like one language per team. So like you had a French team, like fucking the team, what were they called before? Oh, Youngtis. Yeah, before they were Millennium. So Youngtis was all French. You know, teams like Sisu were all Finnish. They had a couple like Brit teams, like Playing Ducks was like mostly British, and then a couple Swedes and Zoronik who spoke English. And then there was obviously Penta, then G2, who were from everywhere and spoke English and kind of broke the rules. G-Bots was all Spanish. There's a couple others in there. But yeah, that's just kind of how the scene developed, is because the best teams playing Siege back then were from Brazil, and they all spoke Portuguese, so then the whole scene just kind of developed around that. But yeah, anyone from any one of those countries can play. Number 2, Team 1 to Japan? Doubtful. Like, it just went over. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, we're just educating a lot of people today on the rulebook.
Yes. Hey, sometimes everyone needs a refresher. Also, if you don't know where to find the rulebook, just go to, I'll actually pull it up again for you. You're going to go to play.esl.com. You're going to then go to games. You're going to go to Rainbow Six Siege, and it'll give you a list of all the regions. The rulebooks for all the regions are basically the same. But if you want to see what countries are eligible for which things, just go to whatever region that you're looking for. So let's say I'm doing LATAM again. Just click Latin America PC. Go to any competition. Doesn't really matter, but I went to Challenger League because it's the same eligibility as Pro League. And if you click the... this is also the fun thing about the ESL website. If you go to NA, EU, LATAM, or APAC, if you click... inside of like the LATAM PC or the NA PC thing for Rainbow Six Pro League, it'll take you to the shitty website. Don't do that. The best thing you can probably do is go to a different competition where a Pro League team has already played, or a Challenge League team that dropped down from Pro League. You're going to go to their team page and open up Pro League from their team page, and then it'll actually keep you on the ESL website. And you can see everything like who banned what map in what order. You can see the results for the entire thing on the ESL page instead of having to go to the website, and it updates automatically as soon as the score gets entered by the teams. You don't have to wait for the ESL website to update. Yeah, it's a lot easier. And that's where the roster pages are if anyone's confused how to get there and how you see those screenshots on Reddit all the time. But yeah, that's how the ESL website works. And the rulebook is also just in the rules tab of any competition there.
Yep. Yeah, it's always something handy to have, especially when, people make dumb arguments. They're like, oh, no, the rulebook's like this, but they actually have no fucking idea because they don't know what the rulebook is in the first place. So they're just pulling things out of their ass, and you're like, okay, no, it's actually like this, which we've already had to go over quite a few times. Yeah. Like, I had to give it to all the French fans when we were talking about the whole Shaiko situation on stream, because of course we had everyone spamming fours, and I was like, because all the French fans were getting mad that I wasn't banning people for spamming 4, and I was like, okay, well, look, first of all, it's a number, and why are you so angry about it? Number 2, because everyone was like, why aren't you banning me? You think he hacks, like whatever. I was like, well, number 2, in order to get back in to ESL's any of their leagues, you have to admit that you did something wrong. It's in the rulebook. That's all I'm going to say. I don't have an opinion on it, but that's it. That's all I'm going to say. So, like, I had people tweeting at me when that, like, I was, this, that, whatever. So, like, literally, I just posted the ESL rulebook on Twitter. I was like, there you go.
Yep.
Have fun with that.
There's a lot of things in the rulebook that you might not know. So you see all the posts on the Reddit talking about getting other tournament organizers involved?
Mm-hmm.
The exclusivity contract is in the rulebook. ESL holds the exclusive rights for any broadcast material, and you have to get express written permission from them to hold any tournament. It's in the fucking rulebook. It's not some crazy secret. ESL has exclusivity for the length of their contract. The length of their contract is a pretty closely guarded secret, but the nature of the exclusivity being in existence has been in the rulebook since day one. And people always talk about it like it's this big hush-hush thing, and it's like, no, it's literally, if you just read the fucking rulebook, you would see it. Like, it's not, there's a lot of shit in the rulebook that people don't know about. Like, that thing that I brought up last year during, like, the whole rehost thing. People didn't know the old rehost timer.
Yeah, we're talking, what was it? It was EG and what?
It was Rogue and Dark Zero.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about the EG scandal thing last year as well.
But yeah, Dark Zero got a free rehost when they shouldn't have, and then Rogue got a tie instead of a win out of it. And I tweeted it, and I was just like, yeah, that shouldn't have happened. And then immediately after that, everyone was like, oh, we should probably start following the rules now. So, yeah, there's a lot of shit in the rulebook that you could read. What'd you say?
I said, did you know they have a book for this?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like Pro League rules, but for dummies.
I should just copy the link, and just add all of our admins on Twitter.
Probably. So anyway, probably not. No, I was definitely being sarcastic.
Probably the best way to lose my job.
Yeah, probably.
No,
yeah,
it was a complete meme.
Yeah. Number 2, Team 1 to Japan. Like I said, probably not. Number 3, why can Fortnite transfer skins across platforms but Siege can't? Because, okay, for like 6 reasons. Number 1, Fortnite is cross-platform. So they already have that infrastructure built, and Siege is not cross-platform. You cannot play PS4 people on Xbox, you can't play Xbox people on PS4, and you can't play PC people from console. That's just, the infrastructure isn't there because Uplay only works on PC, and it doesn't work on console. Second thing, it's just different games, different companies, different rules about that shit. Like, you also, like, so when you have consoles involved with money going to Sony and Microsoft, like, so the way it works with old skins and stuff, especially so like Glacier and Black Ice, back then they were just under the digital content tab, which meant you had to pay for them with real money, which meant that that money first went to Microsoft and Sony before it went to Ubisoft. Versus on Fortnite, where everything has always been V-Bucks. You pay for in-game currency, and then you use the in-game currency to buy things for your account. That hasn't always been the case with Siege. Yes, you could buy R6 credits, their in-game currency, to buy some things, but other skins were just digital content that you had to pay Sony or Microsoft for, and you can't transfer those transactions. You can't call up Microsoft and be like, hey, give me your transaction list for all of 2016 for these 10 million people. Like, that's... You can't do that. Like, there's rules against that. There's laws against that. Like, there's so many reasons why they can't do that. Now, could you provide proof of purchase to Ubisoft and maybe they could add skins to your account? Probably not, because the request for that would be infinite. You'd have to have someone at the office manually do that for every single fucking skin for every single fucking account. So that would require a billion people to be pressing buttons all day.
All I'm saying is, on a side note for that is, I just want to be, you know, a big enough of a personality in this game one day where I can just ask one of like our bosses, like, hey, can I just have Glacier? Like, please.
I've asked. They said no. They said they can't.
That's it, dude. There's no way they can't.
They said they can't. They said they can't gift cosmetics. There's something in the system that doesn't let them gift cosmetics.
Huh.
Anything that was, like, anything that's not currently in the store. So there's a clip, back when I played with Tim the Tatman and Chase, when he got sponsored to play Siege, one of the devs started just gifting him, like, everything in the store. That's because you can gift transactions, but because Black Ice and Glacier weren't in the store even back then, and they still aren't now, you can't gift anything that's not in the store for a transaction. For something to do with Uplay, and I don't know, I didn't listen to the explanation.
You could gift Black Ice right now because it's just it's in the pack. So the skins technically...
Nope.
Really?
It has to be a transaction. You have to be able to buy it from the store.
Really?
Yes. Anything that's in alpha packs, like legendaries for alpha packs that you can't buy, you can't gift them. There's something to do with their system. The way the fucking dev explained it to me, there's something with their system that they can't do it.
That's weird.
Yeah, exactly. And then also the whole thing I just explained about with money going to different places before Ubisoft. And of course, also the fact that you play, yeah, and of course the fact
makes sense as to how hackers get like the new elite skins now.
Yeah, because they have access to different builds. Yeah, it's great. Anyway, if Nora makes it to Japan, the crowd will be fucking insane when they play. It's not a question, but it's true. You'll probably cover it, but if you don't, the Pittsburgh Embers drama, I didn't really want to cover it because it seems so fucking pointless. But for anyone who is out of the loop on this, I will. A funny Twitter interaction yesterday when I got off the plane. So basically the Pittsburgh Embers situation is the Embers team signed for a year for no money. I don't know why the fuck you would do that, but they did. Then they were looking around and going, oh, other teams in CL are getting paid and we're not. We don't like that. They tried to renegotiate the contract, couldn't get negotiations to work between their agent, Ty Tangles, who also owns OEA and owns CCS, co-owns it anyway. So that didn't work, and then Ty's independent lawyer, who you might have actually heard of before, I forget his name, but he's the gamer lawyer that got involved with some big gaming scandal back in like 2015 to do with law. I don't remember what it was about, but I think his name's Ryan the gamer lawyer or something on Twitter. You could look him up. But anyway, he looked at it and said, yeah, this contract is not even remotely fucking legal. So the Embers contract was basically null and void because it was illegal. And they just walked away and said, okay, we're going to go sign with Obey now because Obey's a lot better than you fucks and they'll actually pay us. So that's what happened there. And then fast forward to yesterday where there's a press release put out by CGG saying that the Embers are...
Is it Rick Geiger?
I don't know, maybe. I thought it was Orion, but it might be a Rick. I don't fucking know. Some gaming lawyer. Anyway, fast forward to yesterday when a press release was put out by CGG saying that the Ember's owner had submitted legal papers to Obey, being like, we're going to sue you for breach of contract. And then the article just kind of chronologically explains everything. So if you want a more in-depth history about the org and the team and all that shit, they also didn't pay our graphics editor $45. Candor, the guy who does all our graphics for B-Leaguers. Great dude, by the way. You should hit him up if you need anything, even though his commissions are closed right now. Yeah, they didn't pay him $45 fucking dollars for whatever reason. That was really dumb to read about. But anyway, then the CEO of Obey quoted the CGG tweet listing a bunch of reasons of why it's dumb. And number one, he was just like, this is an illegal contract. Number two, I haven't seen shit. I haven't seen any legal papers. Number three, I had our whole legal team at Obey look it over, and they laughed. And then he continued on with a couple more things. And then the Embers responded to that tweet, being like, we sent you papers on the 26th of September. And then probably one of my favorite tweets of all time, the CEO of Obey then replies to that and says, writing, I'm butthurt and seeking damages in Microsoft Word and saving it as a PDF are not legal papers. If you want to pay to actually hire a lawyer and try this, be my guest. My legal team will destroy you. So that was fun. So that's the drama. The Embers are just fucking themselves into irrelevance, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. So note to kids out there who are trying to sign. You may have noticed that Shrug is still orgless. Yeah. We're not signing for a year for no fucking money. Have we been offered? Yeah. Are we gonna? Fuck no. Like, what? Who's signing for a year with no money? Y'all are crazy. Number 6, Laxing's Blue Stairs hold on bank with Warden shows Warden's viable, kinda. I mean,
no, it shows that he's niche.
You could put Tachanka and Canine in Arsenal, and he could hold down Blue, Dirt, and Kitchen Drop and Main Hallway, but that doesn't make him viable. That makes one specific spot on one specific map in one scenario where he could be useful.
It makes him niche.
Like, yeah, basically. Like, Ying is still technically viable, but does she get played a lot? No, because that's just dumb. She's just bad. She's just bad right now. Does Fuse get played? No. Is he viable? Fuck yeah. Like, we've gone over this before, but, like, the issue is not the person or the weaponry, it's literally the fucking utility. And the utility for Warden is kind of like, okay, you can't kill it with an ADS, but you know what you can kill it with? Frag grenades. You know what you can kill it with? A bullet to the fucking head. Fire. There's a lot of things you can do to kill a Warden on Blue Stairs. It's kind of just like, that just win your gunfight at that point, because that's all he's got. Like, don't even throw the flashes, or burn the ADSs and then throw some nades, and then just win your fucking gunfight. Like, that's, I don't know, it's the same thing with a smoke on the stairs, or a mute on the stairs, or an LS shotgun on the stairs. Like, there's been 90 different operators to play Blue Stairs on bank before. Like, I don't know. I don't see Warden as viable, just because one play happened. Number 7, Crips next went over it, and number 8, Doki for Pi. We actually didn't talk about the Doki thing.
Yeah, I know, I was waiting.
All right, so Doki, recap on this. I was actually watching his stream an hour before this happened, and then I turned off his stream because I was still at the Airbnb in Montreal, and the internet was shit, and it kept buffering at 480p. So I was like, fuck this shit, I'm gonna go play some Shell. So then my phone's lighting up, and I'm just getting like 5 DMs a second, and fucking Twitter's exploding, and he's got like 1,000 viewers, and I tune in, and yeah, he's been permanently banned for toxic behavior. I don't know what happened. We don't know if it was a manual. A lot of people are assuming it's a manual ban because there was no lead up to it, right? Typically, if you're getting banned for toxicity, you get like a 5-minute, a 15-minute, a half hour, an hour, then a 2-day, then a week, and then it leads up eventually to a perma ban if you get banned like 25 times for toxicity. Yeah. But there was no lead up. It was just he was playing ranked, no ban, in the middle of a ranked game, perma banned. So there's a lot of assumptions out there that it's intentional by Ubisoft and that it is manual. ESL has had to deal with situations like this in the past. If anyone was unaware, Laxing and Skies were both perma-banned on PC accounts for toxicity for using homophobic slurs. This was back in Year 2, Season 1. They've since obviously been unbanned and permitted to play in ESL. So, I mean, I don't know. They've had to deal with this before. clearly they're taking the side of Ubisoft on this one. Obviously, there's also a lot of screenshots going around from that Sergio video. I don't know if that was really him. That was from fucking 2017. So I don't know, A, if it was really him, or B...
Was it Red Crow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't know if it was him or not, first of all. Obviously, it has his name, but there are a couple letters in there you could change out with O's or L's and zeros and all that shit in the name to try and make it look like you are someone when you're not. Lord knows I know, considering my name is Fian on Uplay instead of Flynn. But it looks like Flynn, so, you know.
Fian Dot, dude.
Yep, Fian Dot.
Actually be Finn. It's Finn Dot.
The Y kind of fucks things up, but yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of the thing with Doki. That's his standing right now. ESL has suspended him indefinitely, ruling that he can't play until this gets resolved with Ubisoft. No update on a resolution with Ubisoft. No update on what actually banned him. Obviously, Doki will know what he got banned for, and it's up to him to kind of release that info on his own terms, whether or not he wants to, because you can't be... Apparently there's something in the EU where you can't be denied service without being given an explanation for some kind of online service. Some new EU law that came in a couple years ago. So, yeah. It's the same thing like whenever you go to a new web page now and it says it has to inform you that you're using cookies and they have to let you know that they're using cookies. It's something to do with that same law that introduced that, because you have to be told that things are happening to you on the internet now, which is a good thing. But yeah, there's something mixed in with that law. It's like if you get denied service or something, you have to be given an explanation as to why you were denied service. Yeah, I don't know the law. I'm just repeating what Alex said to me as ironic. So, there you go. Moving on, though. Pie's been okay. He had a banger of a first game. Pretty disappointing second game, but they still won anyway.
Yep.
So, I mean, hey, that's how she goes. Kilroy. This might be a bit too real, but where do you two see your careers with R6 going? Do you see yourselves casting for years to come? Do you see R6 Pro League lasting that long? Do either of you plan to get real jobs again? Sorry if my question prods a bit deep, but I've thought about getting into casting a lot, and I just want to know what the inside opinions were on its stability and longevity. Do you want to take this one first, or do you want me to?
I can take it first.
Go for it.
All right. I would say that in general, our esports ecosystem is doing just fine. We're going into the proper rate. We're not inflating things like what we've seen currently going on with franchising. If we were franchising right now, Flynn, I'd be fucking terrified, to be completely honest. Not to say that I wouldn't make a shitload of money because, you know, franchising.
Yeah.
But it would not nearly have the longevity in my eyes that I feel like we're going to have right now. They have a 10-year plan for this game. We're almost 4 years in, so there's, you know, more life left in this game for it to breathe than there is for it that it's already went through. So with that being said, with the upcoming, you know, whole ESL situation that they might be losing their exclusivity. Well, the current contract with Ubisoft is going to be going up, so they might either re-up the contract or, you know, it might go freelance. We don't know. Either way, I feel like Flynn and I got in this at the proper time, because before that, if you guys remember, all of the majors, all that kind of stuff, when they did all of the group stage games casted, they had just players come in and cast the games instead of actually having a caster that just casts Rainbow Six come in and cast the games. And Flynn and I just kind of filled that empty space, which worked out really, really well, because we, along with health issues and everything else that's been happening inside of Rainbow Six, like they would need somebody. They're not just going to fly a player in and be like, hey, well, you're also playing for your team. Could you also cast our stuff? I'd really appreciate it, you know? So I think that we just got kind of lucky in that context, but we've already had time to grow and everything else. So it's a little bit more difficult to get into, but I think Rainbow Six is perfectly stable. Perfectly stable. I don't see anything really faltering off, especially with, you know, the strives that they're trying to make it to make the game easier to watch. You know, people, you know, can, you know, enjoy seeing their teams more, everything they're trying to do to improve this game for viewership and everything else. I definitely see it continuing to grow, and I think that we're just really along for the ride at this point.
Yeah, I'd probably echo a lot of what you just said. In terms of my career with Siege, it's kind of diverged into two directions now, with playing and casting at the same time.
Yeah, but playing's not going to work out. Fuck you.
Hey, you never know. Could be in Pro League next season, motherfucker.
The fucking video on Twitter from that demo post.
Oh yeah, that was
We
hilarious.
are the Canadian news team.
So good.
Dude.
It was me and Jesse. I was dying.
I saw Parker's face. I love Anchorman, by the way, if you didn't know this.
I've never
fucking
seen
love
it.
Anchorman. Oh my God. Yo, Flynn, we are going to get fucking cheeched and chonged in fucking Canada, and we're going to watch that together. I'm telling you right now, it's so worth, dude. So fucking worth. And I'll tell you why. Because like there's also a joke about Jack Lime, which is the guy that like my face is plastered on that video. Because I saw Parker's face, I was like, oh, it's Anchorman. Like this is pretty cool. And I saw the video link, and I was like, is this his full thing? And I clicked it, and that's when it just turned over to me. And it's like, where are you going, Ron? And he's like, Jack Lime. Well, earlier in the movie, he couldn't pronounce Jack Lime's name. He called him Jack Lime. And then they made a bet about viewership that if they pass him up in viewership for their news station, he had to change his name to Jack Lime permanently. It's fucking great, dude. Oh my God. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm Jack Lime.
Not bad.
Oh, Jesus. It's so good, dude. It's so good.
So yeah, anyway, my career right now has kind of diverged into two different paths with both casting and playing simultaneously. I don't know, my whole theory with that and my whole, I guess, mantra behind it all is I can always go back to casting. My casting abilities aren't going to disappear. My opportunity to cast most likely won't disappear from being a player.
And you'll have rust, but I mean, that's just like a simple, hey, I cast 2 games, then I'm back where I was.
Yeah, like it would be pretty easy to do some warm-up and stuff. And I'm still casting on the side, I'm still doing the Canadian Nationals. I'm still open to doing other events. It's
because Flynn doesn't want to be poor. That's why.
Yeah, basically. It's my job. It's my main source of income. But I mean, in terms of the future with casting and Siege, I don't really see it dying down anytime soon. I think if anything, it's only going to get bigger and better from here.
Mm-hmm.
If more tournament organizers come in next year, you're probably going to be seeing a lot more LAN events, which means a lot more need for casters, which means a lot more travel and a lot more work for us. So I don't see a world in which casting really slows down in the near future, based on what we've seen in conversations we've had with people.
Everything is hopeful, basically. Like there's no trend in this game going downward. I mean, every single year it seems that we gain like another 10 million players. So like this is one of the biggest FPSs in the world right now, and it is the biggest FPS in the East.
And I think one of the craziest ideas is that the game will die suddenly. I mean, first of all, Ubisoft is not going to let that happen, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, from a business perspective, this game is a fucking cash cow.
Oh yeah, it's their most profitable game at Ubisoft right now. It is the most profitable Ubisoft game. So I think esports for Siege is not going to die anytime soon. We have brilliant people at Ubisoft in charge of the esports department in Laura and Stewart right now, so don't think they're gonna slow down anytime soon in terms of producing incredible esports content. And I imagine that it's only going to get better from here. There's actually a very, very, very awesome trailer coming out today, the 8th of October, to link with the SI tickets that are going on sale today, the 8th of October, that I think you guys will really fucking enjoy because it gave me goddamn goosebumps when I saw it. So enjoy that.
I'm putting all my chips down this year.
Yeah?
Putting all my chips down, dude. Last year I bought a ticket because I was like, I'm not going to cast the event, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is this is before I had the first lane or anything. So it was like, obviously like, hey, I just want to go. I want to see, I'm going to make it happen. And then, all that other shit happened where I had to give away the ticket and everything.
Yep.
I'm just not going to buy the ticket this year.
You're not going to buy one? I'm buying one.
Are you?
I'm buying one. Just in case. Just in case I get cut.
Just a quick contingency plan?
Just in case I get cut. You never know. I'm always like that. I'm always trying to be safe with that. I think if there's...
I don't even know if I'd want to go if I didn't cast it, because at that point I'd just be embarrassed.
Oh, really? Nah, I wouldn't care. I mean, I'd care because it's a lot of money, and obviously getting to cast SI is huge. But I mean, like, I don't know. It wouldn't deter me from going because SI has been... The last 2 SIs have been some of the greatest memories of my entire life. Like, some of the greatest times I've ever had. So I definitely would still go, even if I don't get chosen to cast. Just because like the positives outweigh the negatives. But if there was ever a point in the foreseeable or eventual future where Siege does die down and it no longer provides financial support for me, I don't really know what I'd do. You know, casting skills are casting skills. You don't get locked into one game. You know, Blue's gone from CS to plenty of other games and now found a home here in Siege. So, I mean, I could definitely do the same if I put some work into it, found a different game later on if Siege dies down. I don't have any interest right now in casting anything else other than Siege. So, for right now, it's Siege and Siege alone. But I think there's two options for me down the road. It's either... Well, I guess there's three options. Find another game I'm good at and try and become a pro player in it, kind of like I'm doing right now with Siege. Find a different game to cast in, or go back to school. It's never too late to go back to school.
Have fun casting Shell.
Hey, I'd cast Shell in a heartbeat. You know how much they get paid? They get paid more than we do.
A lot of people get paid more than we do.
A lot of people get paid more than we do. It's actually sad. That's the funny thing about doing events with other games, and then like every time we go to a DreamHack and stuff, we just hear shit from other casters, and it's like, how much you got paid that much money? Oh, all right.
Yeah, thanks for making me feel poor, dickhead.
Yeah, really. Okay. You got paid that much. You got paid 3 times my entire weekend for one day. Okay. I'm not upset. I promise, I'm not upset. But yeah,
my favorite part is when we have like, you know, like really, really big talent coming to games, and then you hear what their rates are, and you're like, dude, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, Golden Boy coming in just telling us rates from other games.
Dude, I was like, what the fuck? Oh my god.
Yo, let me cash out real quick. Yo, I'll sell out for any brand. What?
Yeah, dude, what's good? You guys want some Omen PCs? What's good?
Want a fucking Rolex? Here, have one. Yeah, it's
fucking hell.
Yeah, we could be paid more. We're happy with what we get paid. Like we get paid a decent amount, but like we could be paid more, especially when you look at the industry as a whole. There's a lot of casters out there in other games getting paid quite a handsome amount more than us.
Logitech just sent me like a new headset, which is a headset I'm using right now for the podcast, and then the new G Pro X keyboard, and like it still felt super weird. And like I've casted 2 fucking majors, you know what I mean? And now they're like, we want to send you this stuff, and I was like,
okay,
okay. Like, you know, I wasn't like, yeah, you should be fucking sending me that shit. I'm like, thank you, sir, I appreciate it. Like, you know, so it's still like super fucking weird, dude. It's weird. Like if fucking like if G Fuel was like, hey, we want to give you a sponsor code, I've been like, what
oh
the
yeah,
fuck,
are you kidding me? Like, oh my god, I cashed the fuck out on G Fuel.
Dude,
G Fuel, Monster, or Red Bull. I'm a caffeine addict. Hit us up.
Red Bull,
sponsor the podcast.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, dude. I'm followed by the Red Bull esports account.
Same. Did you see their very first tweet about us? It was like, we don't know what the fuck Siege is, but we like the casters. And I'm like, nailed it. Let's go. I'm an addict to your product. You literally could have me fucking scratching my arm and my neck outside your office on a Monday morning looking for some drugs. Like,
yeah, dude, like, again, if anybody has connects to Red Bull, let us know. Like, we would love to throw Red Bull all over. Like my entire banner on Twitter can be Red Bull. I don't give a fuck. Like,
dude, my banner on Twitter, my stream overlay.
I get it tattooed on my left ass cheek. 100%.
I get it tattooed on my fucking nipple, dude.
I really feel like this clip is about to get sent to Red Bull in some context.
And they're going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with these guys?
They're going to be like, no, dude, they're going to pull like a full, like fucking Jim Carna or something. Not Jim Carna, the fucking, God damn it, what the hell's, the other fucking shit? God bless it. Nitro Circus. You're going to pull some Nitro Circus shit. Just be like, I mean, if you guys do it, then yeah, sure. Like,
yeah.
Why not?
Oh, Lord, I'm going to have to get Red Bull tattooed on my fucking nipple. You know how hard that is going to be explained? Like,
you know how bad that's going to hurt, dude?
Oh,
I'd much rather get it on my ass cheek.
Then you can't sit down for a couple days.
No, it'll be fine. I'll get it like on the upper cheek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Moving on. That is not a name I'm ever going to pronounce, so I'm going to spell it out. I1A9A9B7P. Get a better name. Everyone knows that LAN is a different beast than online play, but could you elaborate on why? Is it the show productions, light music, etc.? Is it the physical setup of the PCs, monitors, or M&K? Is it the crowd? Is it the ping? It's everything you just said and the pressure, right? Like, it's a different situation. It's everything you just said, though. You know, it's
the comfort of your own home or wherever, you know, you're in your own space when you're not at LAN.
Yeah, you know, when you're on LAN, it's a different PC than you're used to, so you have to set it up, and some things won't be the exact same as they are at home. Sometimes your sense will feel different depending on the PC settings.
My sense felt so fucking different.
You
oh
know,
my god.
the monitor might be a different size, different resolution, different refresh rate than what you're used to. Like, most people would think, you know, going from 144 or 165 to 240 would be good, but sometimes that can throw you off because it is better, but you're not used to it, right?
Yeah, I actually turned mine down to 144 when we were at LAM for the casting show match.
Yeah, my home monitor is 165, so I put mine on 165.
Okay, I gotcha.
But you know, like maybe your mouse pad won't fit the same way. Maybe the chair isn't the exact same as your chair at home. The armrests don't go in the same spot. You know, they don't go to the same elevation. The desk, you know, your keyboard position on LAN. Sometimes the desks are really small. Like the tables are really small, so you have to condense your setup a little bit. So you know, people were making fun of my mouse under keyboard setup, but I could fit on a LAN desk, the smallest in the world, and I would be fine. But some people would be fucked up by it, and that's why you see a lot of people tilt their keyboards because back in the day, desks and tables and stuff for PCs for LAN events were extremely small. But I mean, it's all that said. Also, the audio, like, you're never going to have the same mic quality that you do at home. Like, there's going to be crowd noise in the background, even with the white noise headsets. You know, some of us were saying we could hear stuff.
That shit was weird. Like, when people got kills during our event, like, people were still like, hey! Like, it was crazy. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, imagine that.
I really wish that 1v3 was live.
Yeah.
That'd have been, oh man, I'd have made an ass of myself, dude. Whew.
But yeah, you know, it's absolutely everything that you just said. And then it's the pressure, right? You're on LAN, you're trying to perform the best. There's so much anticipation and expectation. You've grinded so hard for this event, for this one game.
It's a make or break.
Yeah, there's just so much more pressure. It's literally everything is different, and it's hard to adjust. And the best players in the world adjust by going there multiple times and getting that experience under their belt. It's not something you can just walk into and be a monster with out of nowhere. Like, there are teams who have done it, but because they did it together, and there's never really one person who can just come in for a LAN event who's never played a LAN event before and been like, yeah, I'm gonna show the fuck out right now. Like, it'll happen, but the nerves and the pressure and the lights and the sounds and the sound quality and the audio quality of your microphone and all that shit we just mentioned, like, it's all different, and that's why LAN is a different beast. Also, the build is different, and it feels different. The ping is different. It's zero ping. There's no latency. There's no getting shot around corners. Nitro cells are... So this was the thing back in the day. Back in year one, you couldn't shoot a nitro cell out of thin air. You couldn't. If it was being thrown, you could never hit it no matter what. Even if it looked like you were hitting it, you wouldn't, because the hitbox would be behind the nitro cell, because the tick rate on the servers back then was like 30, and now it's up to 60. But the hitbox would be so far behind that you would never hit it. That didn't happen on LAN. So the only times, and that's why even, like, if you go back and watch the year one season 3 LAN between PDux and CTM, you'll hear Panky and Michael talking about, like, oh my god, they just shot a nitro out of the fucking air. Are you kidding me? That's because back then that was actually a huge fucking thing that only happened like once a LAN event. Now it happens 65 times in an online game because the servers have gotten so much better. Like, there are so many things that used to even be way more different on fucking LAN. Leaning was faster on LAN. Stun grenades and frag grenades flew faster on LAN. Like, there were so many things about the game that changed on LAN versus the online build back in the day, and there are still things today that change between the builds. So it's, I mean, fuck, man, there's just so much different about LAN than there is about online.
Yeah. It's everything as you said, as well as the nerves, man. And nerves either make or break somebody. You know, it either makes you an absolute fucking animal, like Flynn and I over peeking the fuck out of each other on Canal for no goddamn reason. And dude, that window fight was actually fucking hilarious. I wish that shit was like actually broadcast. I don't know if they caught it or not, but that was fucking funny.
I think they caught me slamming Valley. Yeah, I think they caught me slamming Valley, and then they caught my perspective of dying to you. I think
I overflicked your head.
Good job.
Like the rate of fire was just like perfect for when I was over your actual head, but I overflicked it by like a good like half an inch. I was like, fuck. Like,
all right. It's not Duffman 89. If you could only play one attacker and one defender for the rest of your Siege career, not just competitive but ranked and casual as well, who would it be and why? I already know it's Ash Yeager for Sam. For me, it'd probably be Buck and Mozzie. Those are just my favorite ops right now.
Because they have a lot of utility. You like a lot of utility. I like really good guns. So
Yeah, I don't care about guns.
Yeah, I like my guns.
The thing with both of them as well is mobility. Secondary shotgun on Mozzie, skeleton key on Buck. I can go through anything if it's not reinforced.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
it's just,
I mean,
and
yeah.
secondary weapons that are pretty effective, like the pistol on Buck is not bad. The iron sights are pretty darn great. The secondary weapon as well being the skeleton key and the primary being the C8 with such a crazy good fire rate. Like, dude, like Buck is just my favorite attacker of all time, and Mozzie right now has become quickly one of my favorite defenders. If I couldn't pick Mozzie, it'd probably be Alibi. Same thing. Pretty decent weapons,
Alibi,
but
dude.
like so much mobility. Like you can just you can change the map however
so much
you want
outplay
to.
Potential too.
Yep. I don't even care about the utility. It's just the mobility for me. Do you think having a team house has more positive or negative effects in the long run for that team? Yeah, it could go either way. It depends on the team. For me personally, I wouldn't want a team house. I'd probably want team like apartments with like a communal area so that we could all go hang out somewhere and not have to leave the apartments to go do it. But I like my own space. I like my privacy. Like when I've been living at the houses, like the Castor houses for the Canadian Nationals, it's been okay, but I do find myself at times, you know, just not enjoying the cramped nature of it, always having people walking around in my same space, using my shower, using my bathroom, using my kitchen, you know, sometimes even using my PC when we were at the old Airbnb for July. Just stuff like that. I'd really like my own space, so team apartments would probably be my thing.
If we had a full-on team house and I had to live with Flynn, I'd kill myself, 100%.
Yeah, like it's everyone likes their own privacy, but some teams are different. Some people are different. Maybe some team would like a team house so they could always be together and hang out all the time. It's just
I like the apartment idea more, man, because like all you have to do is walk over to somebody's place. You know what I mean?
Like we do in Poland.
Yeah, like literally, like when you and I recorded the podcast, I just literally walk over, we'd sit down, chill out, like order like a fucking pizza or whatever, and just chill. Like that was it. You know what I mean? Or like when we watch Game of Thrones, fucking monk ass. Like
we all came over to your place and watched Game of Thrones and had some fun.
Did we tell the story of? Yeah, we did. Remember Milan? You were drunk as fuck and had everybody over at your
oh
yeah.
Oh
my god,
that was hilarious. There's fucking 11 of us crammed in my fucking tiny ass hotel room in Milan watching Game of Thrones.
Who thought your bathroom, because your bathroom was bigger, you had a bigger room? Who was that?
I think it was either Jordan, so Bacon, the coach of Dark Zero, or it might have been Marcella, Michael's girlfriend. I don't remember who, but someone made the assumption that because my bathroom was A, not a piece of garbage, and B, bigger than other people's, they were like, oh, your room's got to be bigger. It's like, nah, bitch, my room's tiny.
My shower flooded.
Yeah, that was the thing. Everyone was talking about their bathrooms and their showers flooding and shit, and I'm like, my shower works fine. I don't know what's going on.
They were like, the guy to come fix it.
Oh, they were like, how big's your bathroom? I was like, it's bigger than my bedroom. And they were like, what? No way. And they took that to mean, oh, the place is huge, not the bedroom is tiny.
Dude, I had a fucking foot sink in my bathroom.
Yeah, I have one of those.
Like that little, like, I was like, this isn't a bidet. Like, what the fuck is this thing? It's a fucking foot sink.
Yeah. Anyway, more for Sam than Flynn. Do you think that Chicago will ever host a Siege event? We had a Star Wars celebration here in April in McCormick Place, and that was 1,000,000 times bigger than any Siege event, so a venue isn't an issue. It is also a hub for American Airlines. You can get here from practically anywhere in the world nonstop, so travel isn't a big deal either.
Yeah, absolutely. Chicago is a great place to host esports events. It's one of the, central hubs of American esports. You know what I mean? Like we really only have, I'd say we have 4: LA, New York, Dallas, and Chicago. I'd say that's the 4 of,
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
The states, the
Atlanta,
states where you look at it and go, yeah, Atlanta's, I would also agree with Atlanta. That's definitely there.
Yeah.
So I would say that's like the 5 that when you look at NA, you go, okay, this is where it would be hosted. Chicago has had plenty of esports events. They've had ESL 1 multiple times, as well as IEM Masters, a bunch of stuff with Counter-Strike. And if Counter-Strike goes there, as well as League of Legends, I believe, has went there, then why the fuck couldn't we go there? So, as events get bigger, I definitely think Chicago will be.
I think COD has had some events in Chicago as well.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Yes, they have.
So, I definitely think Chicago. I would love to go to Chicago for an event. Are you kidding me?
I fucking love Chicago. Chicago's my favorite city, dude.
I'd love to.
We're going to get real fat. I'm telling you. I'm taking you
Deep
everywhere,
dish.
dude.
Deep dish.
Yes. Oh, it's so good.
In competitive Siege, what role, hard support, support flex, pure flex, second entry, first entry, is hardest to play and why? Easiest to play? It just depends on who you are. Like, I'm not a gunner. Like, I can gun if I have to, but I'm not an entry. Like, I'm built to be a support player. I'm better on comms, I'm better on cams, and I'm better with weapons that people suck with. And I'm not better than people with the weapons that should get kills. Like, people are much better than me with an R4C, but I'm much better than people with an SMG-11 or an MP5 SD. Like, people can't use the MP5 SD to save their lives, and yet I would kill to play Echo 24/7. Like, I'd never get off Echo if I had the choice. Yeah, it's who you are. It's like, it's how you came up as well. So like, when I started playing Siege, I started playing with my friend who was a fragger, and that's just always how he was. Like, we played Call of Duty together for years, and he was always the guy racking up like crazy kills, and I'd hold my own, but like, I was more sight player. I would just hold sights, make sure that they didn't get taken and stuff, and make sure that we were, winning the game, and he'd run around and massacre people. So when we went to Siege, it was the same kind of way. He would run around and frag people, and I'd play, hard breach, or I'd play support players, and then that's just how I came up in the game. And then when I converted to PC, I started playing with Chase, who was good friends with Macy, and still is. So I'd play in Macy's stack all the time, and he'd have, like, fraggers in there all the time. So it's like, I can't, like, the fragger ops back then, there were a very low number of them back then compared to now, so there just weren't options. So I would always play breachers, because also when I converted from console to PC, I wasn't as good as everyone in my diamond stack on PC when I should have probably been in fucking gold. So yeah, that was just how I came up. So like, if you come up as a fragger and you're always playing fragging ops, you'll probably say fragging is easy and support's hard. But for me, support is just life, and I hate being a fragger. Versus Sam, who's a fuck-ass, brain-dead, window-licking fragger.
But I'm good at it. What do you mean?
That's the thing, right?
Like, I'm entry. I like entry because I feel I win a lot of my opening duels, but I mostly get extremely fucked up in said opening duel, because the thing about being the true entry fragger is that you're probably going to end up having to make a flick shot or something, because you're never going to have like true intel unless you're very lucky. So, I never found myself as being the guy that could finish off a gunfight in like a secondary fragger position. Like, I can do it, but I always find myself lagging behind, or that like I don't get intel fast enough for my brain to respond, stuff like that. Whereas, entry fragging, I'm just so fucking focused on if a pixel moves, I'm just better at it. So, granted, that's why my rank KD is like a 1.2, because like I'll get like the first kill, then die immediately after, because I'm just like, if I kill, like if Maestro's peeking something, I'm like, Maestro's dead, I don't care if I die. Like, if I can get the big pick, then that's all I give a shit about.
At SI 2020, would you like to see an old teams event? Old story rosters could relive the glory days and play against old other rosters. It would be great fan service for all of us longtime fans, and I think that many players would agree that it would be cool to get the band back together for one last time. For example, we could see Penta with KS, old CLG/Elevate, old Most Wanted/SSG, old Year 2 Season 3 Ents, Flipside, old E-Gang, Air Eternity, and more. I don't know. For some reason, this idea just doesn't turn me on.
That's a great way to put that.
Yeah, it just doesn't turn me on. It doesn't spark my interest all that much.
Nah, it doesn't make my dick hard. I don't like it.
I think one of the big things with show matches is when you take them too seriously, like as a fan, and then the players just meme around because they're going to meme around because there's nothing on the line, then yeah, you're going to get let down, right? So show matches are literally just for entertainment and to fill time, and to give other people a spotlight. So I don't think the All-Star game is beneficial. I don't think it's entertaining. I don't think the Creator Cup was all that fantastic because of the way that some teams played and some teams didn't. I don't know. I think we have a hard time trying to find like a show match format that works well for everyone right now, and I don't even know what the answer is. I still think casters versus coaches and put a prize on the line. Like, if you put a prize online for show matches, oh my god, they'd be so much more entertaining. Dude, put a car on the line. Get a car sponsor. Get Kia to sponsor the fucking show match or the whole event or something, and just be like, yeah, whoever top frags gets the car. Like, you'd be seeing some crazy fucking shit.
Next one was playing Ash Yeager, and I'm in sight in 30
Yeah,
seconds.
or
I'll
get
see
like
you
one of
there.
your board partners or one of like the Acer Predator. Acer Predator is a sponsor. Say like, hey, if you guys like the team that wins this all gets a fucking brand new crazy ass monitor from Predator, or gets a crazy new PC or something. Like you got sponsors to work with, right? But you got to put something on the line to make them care, to make the games interesting, or people literally just won't give a shit and they'll just meme like they always do. So like if you wanted to do the old team events, like get the band back together event, but you put like significant fucking prizes on the line, I think that'd be hilariously entertaining.
I feel like there'd be so many memes.
Yeah, because like half these.
This is why you were dropped. This is
yeah,
why.
yeah. Like there's so many people who have gotten so incredibly bad you would not believe since they played in Pro League back then. So like that would be fucking hysterical. Like for Era, you got to put like Fox on a team with like Gurmy and Geo. Like that would be a hilarious team of just like some people who have completely fallen off and fallen into obscurity, and some people who, and like Most Wanted, you have to get Dave out of retirement.
You have to get Moss out of retirement and King Leo.
Well, yeah, like you'd have to get some like fucking people who haven't touched the game in like a year and a half out of retirement. Like it'd be hilarious. Like F3, Zilchi still plays the game, but he's definitely not where he was back then. Like
I haven't seen
Easy
Zilchi in
Peasy.
forever.
I haven't seen Easy Peasy in forever. Sov is now an analyst for SSG, but I don't think he plays all that often. The old E-Gang roster, I mean, you could probably build that and it would still be okay. Like Trippin's playing in CL right now for Orglis, and I don't know, the rest of that, like everyone's still kind of doing things from that roster. Ghost Navy, and obviously we're playing for the Sonics there for a minute. CLG Elevate, England's on Rise right now. What was that roster? It was like England, Geo, Skies, Laxing, and Shuttle? Yeah, Shuttle. So there you go. That's a roster that could compete, but like, yeah, you'd have to get people out of fucking retirement to make it work. So if you put a prize on the line, I'm sure they'd come. If you don't, then what's the incentive, right? And it won't be the same as you remember it. All right, big yikes TM. Who will make Japan an EU? I'm still saying G2. I'm sticking to my prophecy. Fuck you. The stars will align. After a few games, who looks good and bad in CL right now? Who looks good? Me. Who looks bad?
Everyone else.
I mean, there's been some weird results, man. DG looks especially bad, and I don't really know why. Akatsuki, I had higher hopes for, but they've really stumbled out of the gate. Orglis looks about as bad as I thought they'd be. Adventure Force looked better in the first week, but worse in the second week, so I think they're about average. Rise looks a lot better now than when we played them. That's for goddamn sure. Rise is actually like a damn good team. I'd say based on how we've seen them perform after that first week, I'd probably say they're one of the best teams in NACL right now. Two-Faced, again, thought they'd be doing better, thought they'd give us more of a run for our money, especially on border. I don't know, Coastline was pretty back and forth. I didn't expect Coast to even go all that well, and we got a point out of it, so I don't know. I thought Two-Faced would be a lot better than this. I think Obey, the points are deceiving. I think they've had two incredibly easy matchups to start, so I don't know. CL's hard to read right now. I think DG could still definitely make a comeback out of it. I think Obey will probably fall off. They won't keep this pace up. I think we're still going to do pretty well, honestly, given our rest of schedule after we get through these two games. We play Akatsuki now on Friday. We play Obey on Wednesday. And then we have apparently freebies to end the season in PG or XPG, Disrupt, and then Adventure Force. So I don't know.
Well, a lot of teams have been thinking that recently, and a lot
It's
of
very
it's been
true.
falling off.
Very true. No game is free, and I don't know. It's hard to read right now in terms of who looks bad but is better and who is actually bad. Freeze Z541. What's up, guys? Stokes, congrats on casting PL in the near future. Flynn, congrats on 4 more points in that wall bang. How did that call out go to make that happen, or is just a guess based on sound cues? Like I said, I was just hopping on and off the camera. myself. No one called that out for me because my team doesn't give me any calls because they sell me out daily. Why do strats differ so drastically from region to region? What strats are each region known for, including APAC? Kind of depends on the team, really, more than anything. It's not really like a region thing. There are some strats that are like notorious for being region centric, but it's definitely dissipated the more that especially APAC and LATAM teams have gone to international or interregional lands. I remember during the qualifiers for SI 18, there was a Japanese team. I can't remember which Japanese team it was. I think it's the team that is now Nora. They ran bar gaming on Chalet as their primary defense. And everyone was just sitting here like, what in the actual fuck are you doing? But that was just because in Japan, that was the default. Like, they just grew up and learned to play the game differently. And I don't know. Until you actually see other people play the game, I don't want to say correctly, but at least more efficiently, then you really don't have any ideas. Because that would be like me saying, like, Barstock is the best site in the game, and then going to a LAN event and using it, and everyone going, holy fuck, he's actually right. Like, it just takes someone showing you that it's possible for it to be adopted. I don't know, like, in terms of, like, operators that are pretty, like, region-specific, I don't know, a lot of, like, the aggro, like, roam clearing operators are pretty notorious for LATAM, Lion, Dokkaebi, Jackal, Ying, stuff like that. That was kind of their niche for a while. Glaz, obviously, because they have incredible aim. APAC loves their Valkyrie, but so does LATAM. They love it even more than NA and EU combined. They just love intel ops, you know, and it's weird because you see the ban rates. So, like, NA bans the fuck out of Echo. EU bans the fuck out of Mira, and then LATAM bans the fuck out of Maestro. So it's like, I don't know, it's... Every region has their own little tendencies, but now we're getting to a point in the game that it's so global and everyone could kind of see what each other are doing and has played against each other doing it before, that I think the regionality has kind of fallen off a little bit, but you'll still see some weird strats. I think Castle gets used a hell of a lot more in APAC than anywhere else. Just because I don't know, there's less coordination with some of the weaker teams so they can get away with it, but like Castle's decent. He's just not the best operator. He gets used as a safety net by a lot of bad teams, though. Anything to add to that, Sam?
I really think that you're right about all of it.
There you go.
I don't think there's really anything I can possibly add to that.
Yeah.
So,
number 2, what are the few changes the game needs to be improved? Legion mines, echo drones, etc. come to mind. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with those specifically. I know Sam has differing opinions on Legion, and I think he definitely has way too many Legion mines.
Fuck Legion in the face.
I think my rework for Legion would probably drop him to 4 mines, but give him to him immediately off rip. None of this timer bullshit. Just give him 4. That's all you get. And
3, take it or leave it.
3, take it or leave it. We're gonna barter this down. Yeah, I think the accumulating them over time thing is really dumb. I don't know why it exists. It's like 90% of the other operators in the game get their utility, and they have their utility, and that's just how it is. But if you give them 7 or 8 or how many it is, I think it's 8 right now. If you give them 8 off rip, you can go fuck yourself. Echo drones, I think Echo just needs to lose the second drone, man. The drone is just too good. The rework did everything we asked Ubisoft to do to Echo, but then gave them 2 fucking drones for no reason, and that was dumb. We wanted teammates to be able to see on it, and we wanted teammates to be able to ping on it, and we wanted teammates to be able to move it. That's what we wanted for the Echo drone. And we wanted more visibility. Get rid of that green shit. And that's exactly what they did. They got rid of the green shit. They let teammates utilize it, and it was great. And then out of nowhere, they were just like, hey, all of this, plus he gets 2 now. And we're just sitting here like, what? No. We didn't ask.
No.
We didn't fucking ask for 2. We just wanted shit to be done to the first one and leave it at 1. So I think Echo really needs to lose that fucking second drone, bro.
Yeah,
that shit is
insane, dude.
I mean, like, if you wanted to keep him almost in the same ballpark, you could take away his barbed wire and give him a fucking bulletproof camera so that he still has, like, 2 sets of intel, if that's really what you're going for. But even then, I think that is still dumb. Like, just keep him with the shield and the barb. Like, he's fine where he is. He has an automatic fucking 26-round mag, secondary SMG. Yes, the recoil is atrocious on it, but rate of fire wins all. Then you have an ACOG with an MP5. Yes, it's silent, so it does a little less damage over range, but hit your fucking shots, you fucking mongs. And then he has the drone. Like, he's perfect. Like, I don't know what the deal is with 2 Echo. Just get rid of the second Echo drone for the love of fucking God.
He's got everything. And for a fucking balancing team that always tries to pull everything out from everybody, like when they are performing well, they have so many of these just outliers that are just built to the fucking hilt. It's ridiculous. Like Legion can do anything, Echo can do anything, Sludge arguably can
Maestro.
do anything, Jackal, Maestro, like.
Yeah, stop making operators one-man armies.
Yeah.
Bring back team composition and synergy and teamwork in terms of setups. Like, fuck.
That's why I banned fucking Jackal and Legion in ranked, because they just provide too much shit.
Yeah.
Like, I would much rather lose to a good Echo, but, obviously Echo has to stay on site, whereas Legion can literally do anything, and he's info, and he's damage, and he's fucking slows you and forces you into an animation and everything else. Like, that's the main reason why I don't like Legion comparative to other operators, because he can truly do anything. Echo can do a lot of shit, and I am in the same category of I think he does too much. But my God, man, like there's just some ops where you're just like, why is that a thing? Yeah. Why can Jackal walk into a building and have instant information? Why?
Zofia is just a big fucking why, dude. Impact, stuns, claymores, a fucking extra sight on her pistol for no goddamn reason, and the ability to withstand and half exposure to elements and concussions. Like, why do you need that? Finka is another just giant why. I can't even... I could try and list everything she does, but I would lengthen the podcast by 5 minutes just by listing all the shit she does. Just stop. Stop. Please, for the love of God.
It has that issue like MOBAs do. I know you've never really played MOBAs, but in early development of any MOBA, you have like super simple people. Like we'll do. I can't do League of Legends because I haven't played it enough. But we'll do Smite. So for instance, like early character like Hoonbats. Like Hoonbats has like a teleport. Like you throw like a little monkey out and you can teleport to it if it hits something. Then his ult is literally just a massive like fucking pillar that goes in the ground, and then like people run away from it. Like basically forces them into an animation. So pretty easy stuff. He has like a jump and then like an overhead smack on the ground. And then you go to like the most recent people, like the most recent chick, Flynn, she is alive after she dies for 6 seconds, and you can't kill her like after her death form. So she's like a ghost that can still launch abilities and kill you.
The fuck?
And you're like, what the fuck? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like you go from like pretty simple to like, okay, this woman literally stays alive after she dies. Her ult like is a massive, I can't even explain what the fuck it does. Like it's insane. It's fucking crazy.
Will pros ever make a gentleman's agreement to not use anything but default skins if ESL never makes a decision to enforce a skin rule? SI ruined that for everyone.
Yep. They tried to do that at 6 Invitational, and Cav still got played, and the other shit still happened.
Yep. SI ruined it for everyone. So no. If it's in the game, shit, I'm running Ember Eye skins right now. Like, everyone's running it.
Yep.
DZ's running it, SSG's running it, Rise is running it,
everyone's running it.
Koski's running it.
If there's an advantage there, you're going to use it.
Obey's running it. Like, we're all running it because
you know you're a sweaty piece of shit when half of my ranked games are filled with you.
Yep.
I hate it because I can't fucking see.
This question
I will say though on my roaming characters, like only one on my vigil, because I'll use vigil like if I'm just like, you know what, like I feel like I really need to just like throw everybody in a backpack. I'm gonna try and like play my life for as long as possible and get this flank or something like that. I am running the Halloween skin from last year, which is brown, so you just blend into everything.
Yep. This question was obviously posted before today's playday, but anyway. G2 squeaked by Sisu. Do you think Sisu is just finally figuring it out this season, or does the mixed roster of old Penta/G2 players help counter-strat G2's playstyle? I think Sisu was just the better of the 3 teams. They were just in a deeper hole in terms of relegation. So obviously, if you guys weren't aware, we went over it earlier, but Sisu is now officially in a relegation spot, and they're in 8th, guaranteed. They cannot get out of 8th. So they will play the number 1 EUCL team in relegations to keep their spot alive. If they manage the upset and win it, they'll retain their spot for Season 11. If not, they'll be in Challenger League for Season 11. Thanks, guys. You don't know how much I enjoy listening to the podcast to keep up on Siege things. No problem, Freeze. Yes, many questions, but some of them are fast. Mate, I swear to fucking God. Number 1, should Ubisoft focus on making new Pro League standard maps, or should they try to rework buff older maps to try and make them more competitive and not broken? The cons for reworking older maps would be that I know that a lot of the casual community are quite fond of the older maps, and I know a lot of people would like to see Hereford reverted back to how it was. The pros would be better maps, and maybe we can finally axe Skyscraper and Chalet from ranked. The focus definitely, as you can see from the last year, is fuck trying to make new maps. All we do is piss people off, so we're going to try and rework some old maps and make them more viable, and I think they've done an excellent job of that. As much as I despise Cafe, it's better than what it was. Canal is fucking incredible. I'm interested to see what they do with Theme Park. I don't think you could ever fix Theme Park. I think it's just too big and too stupid and too complicated and too broken. But again, we'll see what happens with the rework when it comes out. But yeah, they've definitely halted on building new maps for the time being, and I'm okay with that, honestly. I think there's a couple other maps in the old pool that you could probably tinker with and get to a competitive standpoint. Chalet probably doesn't need a whole lot of work to get it back to competitive viability. Skyscraper can be tossed into a fire. I don't think Fortress is all that bad. I don't think Outback is all that bad. I know there's some people out there who hate them, but I like them. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I think more exterior breachable walls for Fortress would be a nice little touch to it. Just a nice little map buff like they did with Clubhouse. Just because you have to get in the building to be able to breach things, and it feels kind of like a coastline thing, but with way more roaming, because there's way more rooms and shit. But yeah, that's, I don't know, I think they've been fine for the last while, honestly. I don't think they've really fucked up a map brutally other than Hereford in the last year. What?
Maps, dude, I don't know. I don't know. It's a losing battle either way. You know what I mean? You're going to change something that someone was like, that was the heart of the map. Or you're going to develop a new map and everyone's going to go, this map fucking sucks. But I will say with our new map development that things have been working out well. Yeah. I think Canal's great. And we're going to continue to die on that hill because it's a great fucking map. You guys just don't know how to fucking play.
Oh, yeah. The second it goes into comp, dude, the second it goes into comp, you're all changing your minds. I guarantee it.
Yeah, it's a great map. Fucking great map.
Number 2, okay, I'm gonna read this, and then I'm still gonna call you fucking stupid at the end, no matter what you say. A buff to Finka. Would it make her OP if you have to ask, while her ability is active, the plant time would be Are you fucking dumb? This would give Finka more uses for fast plants as well as rushers, and it would also make Smoke useless since he's a counter to the Finka boost. Yeah, don't make Smoke useless. Don't make plant timer faster. What the No! No! Finka already does too much shit. I just went over this 5 minutes ago. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that with a rake. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Oh.
Don't say it again.
Fuck that.
There you go.
3, I heard there was some drama with T3H. Do you know anything about it? Yes, I do. So this is from the CCS Women's League, if anyone's unaware. Basically, T3H signed a Women's League team. Apparently, there were some disputes amongst the team about dropping a player. Her name is Canary. There's been a lot of twitlongers and a lot of debate, but I'm just going off of what I've seen from inside CCS and their public statement about it. So basically, T3H had them all sign under contracts, which was weird for a league that basically has no money. But anyway, they agreed to sign contracts, and I went over this. Don't sign contracts for no money. But anyway, apparently the team wanted to drop her. Or bench her because she couldn't be dropped by a contract, and then she called the contract illegal, kind of like the Ember situation. So anyway, she's still on the roster for T3H. She tried to go to a different team, and then CCS vetoed the transfer because obviously she's still under contract, and T3H held her to it. And then T3H is now closing its all operations over this. I don't fucking know, man. It's a mess, but basically more contract things in Siege and people not reading what they put their pen to, and not understanding how they work. As much as a contract can be illegal after you sign it and you want to dispute that, maybe just read the fucking thing and make sure it's not illegal before you sign it. Like, I don't know what's so hard about that. I do that with every contract I take for casting, with every contract I take for anything. Read the fucking thing. And if you don't know if it's illegal or not, talk to someone. There are plenty of websites on the internet where people will read it for you. There are plenty of explanations of laws and how they pertain to specifically your area, whether it's a province or a state or a country or a region or a union or anything like that. You can read up on it. Just don't sign something without fucking reading it and understanding it. And if you really don't understand it and you don't know how to Google, go to a lawyer. It'd probably be like $50 to $100 for an hour for them to just read it over and tell you, yes, this is legal, or no, this is not legal where you live. Like, it's not difficult to fucking look over this shit. But anyway, that's that drama. Number 4 is Shrug talking to any orgs. Yeah, we are. Number 5, does the ADS time for shields, at least fuse and blitz, need to be reduced? Fuck no. That's the best change of all time. Fuck that. Fuck ADS speed.
Another reason
good.
why Fink is dumb.
Yeah, don't touch that. That's beautiful right now. 600 milliseconds is godly. Number 6, last one. Knock and Warden in Pro League. Do they need to be buffed, or are they in a good place? Like I've said for a long time, not every op needs to be Pro League viable, and it's a good thing that they're not trying to. Extra, if you haven't already done the podcast, Redeemer on Rogue's ESL page and Crypts being removed from Chaos's active roster. Talked about Crypts, didn't talk about Taylor. So yes, Taylor is on Rogue's roster, but yeah, Shuttle has had some bad games, and apparently he's the guy to go. But Redeemer obviously didn't play tonight against the Sonics, and they lost. So I don't know.
Redeem the dream, baby.
Redeem the dream. Gotta love Taylor. All right. Just MTX with a little sad face like Dan at the end. Long time no ask, so here are a couple questions. You put 7. That's a lot more than a couple. I'm definitely changing the rules on this. Although it's regarding Doki's ban and his racist chat messages, been over this. If Doki stays banned, why in the world does Ubisoft not take action against people like Yardi? I'm not here to compare situations. I think, okay, if I am actually going to compare situations and talk about this, I think the one thing I will say is Yardi's situation was outside of the game, and Doki's situation appears to be inside the game. But like I said, those screenshots could be faked, or the video, it could be a different person. I mean, it's from fucking 2017, and there's no tracking on that. Like, they didn't even record chat logs back then, so I don't know. I also think if you're trying to retroactively take a stance on something that you've approved for like a year, then that also just seems stupid, so I don't know. Do you want to touch that or just move?
Wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole.
Yes, sir. Number 2, do you guys think that we're about to see a big swap in Siege in terms of old teams being replaced by new teams? For example, EG and Dark Zero being replaced by TSM and SSG for top 2 and NA. I think at LAN events, possibly. I think in Online Pro League, they still have some work to do. Number 3, which orgs would you like to see join in the future? Gone over this plenty of times. There's plenty of orgs out there I'd like to see. Probably number 1 on the list is 100 Thieves. Number 4, do you think that there will, or that we will see more inter-regional roster changes in the future? Yeah, definitely. If EU keeps spitting out incredible players and they can't get any vertical growth, I'm sure there's plenty of teams in NA that would take them to save their spot. Number 5, Flynn, how has the level of competition in the Canadian Nationals improved, if it has at all? I'm not watching it. I don't blame you for not watching it, but it's gotten a lot better. Like, a lot better compared to last year. There's no more silvers. The format for us casting is also a lot better. There's no more league. It's literally just a carbon copy of USN, which is with fewer teams and fewer broadcasts. So it's definitely gotten a lot better. The LAN finals are the 19th and 20th at EGLX in Toronto. Number 6, should EU Pro League be extended by 2 to 3 spots since 2 CL teams made it to the semis of the second most important tournament of the year? No, you can't expand one region without expanding them all, because then you have people screaming it's not fair.
Yep.
So, no. Don't care how good the teams are. That's just how it works. Sucks to suck for being in EU and not being in Pro League. Number 7, what do you guys think of the idea of reintroducing the CL playoffs? No. With the difference being that it is a LAN as well? No. As relegations being played at LAN in a BO5 format, I'd be open to relegations be expanded to best of 5. I don't think a best of 3 is a fair enough. Like, one best of 3 after your whole season, I don't think that's a fair enough comparison of talent. Someone could just have a hot day or someone could have a bad day and your entire 6-month season is fucked. So I would like to see relegations expanded in terms of the number of games being played to truly try and find the fairest result. But, yeah. CL playoffs are garbage. Don't ever bring them back. Do well in the season or get fucked, idiots. That's it for me. Flynn, I wish you good luck in your future CL matches. Hashtag casters can play. Stokes, have fun at whatever the fuck you do. Smile. Bye.
Wow, dude.
Get fucked, idiot. Danny Bear 285. Number 1, how did you know where to shoot for your flick on border? Again, check the cam myself. Got off, shot through the floor. And that's, like Sam said, pretty open spot. That right there is the spot you open up for the doorway from archives into fountain. Number 2, Flynn, what are your operators that you main per map, if any? E.g. Thermite on bank, Maverick on club, Mirror on border. Per map, so basically I'm just anything with an SMG-11 or a hard breacher.
Smoke, and mute, and smoke again.
Yeah, smoke, mute, and then Thermite Hib on attack. Except for Coastline. I played Gridlock on Coast. Quincy, any advice to get a team to take practice seriously in dealing with a selfish player? Eject the selfish player into the sun. If you're not a team player, get the fuck off a team. It's called a team for a reason. To take practice seriously, depends what you're doing. Dry runs, dude, there's pro league teams that can't take dry runs seriously. Our team can't take dry runs seriously. We literally just end up killing each other because it's so fucking boring.
It is boring as shit.
If it's scrims, though, and they're not taking scrims seriously, then that's a serious problem. You need to talk to them and get them to understand that this is about getting better and practicing and developing new strategies. So scrims are incredibly important. Dry runs, people are going to fuck around no matter what. And dealing with a selfish player, eject them into the sun, man. If they don't change, then fucking find a new person, man. I'm never one to talk about roster moves being a good thing, but honestly, I've run into a lot of people who I've known immediately would not be a good fit for our team. Like when we were building the team, me and Chase, we had ideas of who we wanted to bring in and who we thought would be a good fit. And we had plenty of people we tried out, plenty of people with different personalities and mantras, and we settled on Rainbow and Talon because they were professional. They knew what they were doing. They had played plenty of CL games before, and they were fun to hang out with, honestly. They were very fun guys, and they meshed well with us incredibly well. So, and that's the same thing would happen with Wrath and Mex. Mex obviously had some history with Chase for being on SG last season, so they knew each other pretty well. And then Wrath as well just came in, and he was a great guy to talk to, a great guy to hang out with, immediately off rip. He's just a very quiet, humble guy. So you gotta take personality into consideration when you're building a roster. Like you can't just be like, oh, this guy frags out. He's got like a fucking 1.6 KD in rank. Like, yeah, but if he screams after every single death and blames everything on you when it's his fault, like that's never gonna end well. You have to like we took personality into consideration more than talent, honestly, in a bunch of our decisions when we built the roster. Dingleberry Man, do you think having its own meta helps or hurts the LATAM scene internationally? Would they be better served conforming to EU NA playstyles? So no and yes. So a lot of LATAM teams play LATAM Siege when they're playing Pro League or BR6 because that's
when
what
they're in LATAM.
Yeah, when they're in their own region, and then they have to try and convert to an international playstyle that isn't so aggressive. And so chaotic, really. You have to tighten up a lot more because of the more structure you have, the easier it is to pick apart that one person running around with their head cut off. And if you're starting from your back foot every round, you're just not going to have a fun time. So, but the one problem with that is that because the whole region plays like that, someone has to take the first step. Someone has to be the team to break that mold and play much more conservative and much more strategic and procedural. And that doesn't win games in LATAM. Like, sometimes you get bowled over trying to play that way in LATAM just because of the onslaught of pressure. Like, if the whole region plays that way, then you kind of got to play that way. And that's just the curse of LATAM, really. Yeah, I don't know.
I really don't have anything else to say on it. I think that that's just how it is.
Yep. Okay, the 15 question fucking onslaught. Should ties be removed and replaced for... I'm just going to run through it as fast as possible. If you have anything, just jump in.
Yep.
Number 1, should ties be removed and replaced for something else in normal online pro leagues, such as Max OT? That would make broadcasts like 5 to 6 hours now. Number 2, with ESL's exclusivity deal running out, if Ubisoft decides to partner up with other TOs, add more lands, general competitions, rule sets, would that make certain teams better than what we're seeing? Example, TSM struggling with BO1. I mean, possibly, but you're probably never going to have BO3s online for a league with 8 teams. Like, we've been through this before. Broadcasting is a bitch. Number 3, with more TOs, how does that change the competition? Should a top-tier team playing something only like Star Ladder be able to play for the Invitational? I'm sure they'll come up with their own qualification things, but we don't have answers because that's in the future, bud. Number 4, do you think ENCE is waiting to see if Sisu can escape relegation before picking them back up? Probably not. Number 5, thoughts on the... Okay, already went over T3H Supremacy and the Embers. Number 6, Shuttle isn't on Rogue's ESL page anymore. Cool. 7, should we get 2 more bans for both attack and defense for a pick and ban? So 4 attackers and 4 defense bans? I don't think so. I don't think we're at that point yet. 8, if you could give a map buff to a map in Pro League you hate, what would you do? I would take Cafe and throw it into the sun. 9, what do you think of 2-2 ACOGs in Pro League? I know Goyo isn't the most viable, but if a useful 2-2 op... Wait, Goyo isn't the most... What? Goyo is incredibly viable. You are insane. But if a useful 2-2 op with an ACOG comes out and is PL viable, how balanced will it be? I mean, it's their decision to break their own rule about putting ACOGs on 2-2s, so there you go. Number 10, French Siege. What are your thoughts on it? If you've been... I don't know.
I think that they play fine. I think that the best French team's Vitality. I think BDS is on the come up. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what do you think about German Siege? What do you think about Brazilian Siege? Like, there's plenty of things you can say about it, but they're a region. French players have always predominantly been some of the best players in Siege in general on PC and Pro League, so I'm not surprised that they have good all-French teams, but I'm also not surprised that a lot of French players disperse to bigger and better things, like the Giants.
A lot of international teams, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Like, comparative to other esports, like League of Legends, like Japan is known for a certain play style, you know, like stuff like that. But
yeah,
it's a little bit different in Siege.
11, flying attacker drone. That's it. What do you think? No. Number 12.
Absolutely not.
How much of the Gotcha Jarvis situation is due to the mob outraged of the Pro League sub versus TSM not communicating openly? What? It's not a PR. We went over it already. Fuck you.
Yeah.
13. If we get more TOs, how will we be able to compare the teams from each other? The same way in fucking CSGO. Not every team plays every event. Not every team plays ESL Pro League. Like, the same way they do.
For a long-standing time, Astralis had a long-standing contract with Blast Pro Series where they only played Blast events except for majors. So you'd never see them at like any other minor.
Yeah.
It was just really, really weird.
That's done now.
But then you can't see like the best, you know.
And then Valve came out with that ruling being like, no.
Yeah, because
stop.
Because it restricts them, man. Like, you're not going to be able to see like Liquid versus Astralis anywhere else except a major, you know? So it's weird.
Yeah. We've already answered 14 about 1,000 times over the episodes, so I'm not answering it again. 15, is Siege's meta getting stale? It was favorite match to cast.
Oh.
Yeah. 15, is Siege's meta getting stale settled? I mean, everything will change with new operators coming in. That's always how it goes. The reason it kind of feels stale right now is because you got fucking Knock and Warden coming in. They don't change shit, so... As soon as you get operators that change shit, like Amaru and Goyo, then you will.
Just because they've been used 3 times does not all of a sudden make them viable, guys. Jesus.
Yeah, and that was...
like, everyone was wrong because they used Nook and she killed people. It's like, I can take Tachanka and fucking kill people.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think there's definitely been instances of ops coming into viability that we didn't expect, like Gridlock. But it takes time, and it's the same thing as
good in tandem with but Nomad.
Yeah, it was the same thing when Nomad and Kaid came out when they instituted the 3-month ban. For 6 straight months, there were no new operators. It's exact same operators, exact same maps in Pro League in tournament competition. Like that felt like a very stagnant point in time, just because they instituted the new 3-month review process. So. Yes, things are going to feel stale right now because it's basically the same thing where you have 2 operators that are pretty much a joke in terms of competitive play. All right, we answered 14 out of 15 of your questions, and I fucking hate you, and I'm changing the rules next week. Devastated Boy, we already went over the Gotcha Jarvis thing. Wazy in 96. Congrats, Flynn, on another 4 points. NA is really losing to a caster. Damn. Yes, they are. What do you guys think about the C8 without skeleton key for a new op? Seems like it could be interesting in a nice new recycled weapon. Yeah, that'd be dope. I'd love to see the C8 on more ops.
AK-12.
Yeah, AK-12. We already went over
Give
this last
everybody
week.
an option for the F2.
Yeah, we went over all this last week, but yeah. Number 2, would you two ever want to cast professional sports in your life? If so, what's the dream game? Oh, for me, it's hockey.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd cast hockey with you.
Bet, let's do it.
I would not be able to fucking pronounce a single name.
No, you wouldn't.
I don't know anywhere near the knowledge.
Here, hold on. Hockey. We're gonna play a game, guys. I'm gonna type out 3 Leafs players, and I'm gonna send them to Sam and see if he can pronounce them.
Oh fuck. Oh no. What the fuck did you do? What? Okay, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait till they're all here. It's not gonna look. Tell me when to look. I'm not looking.
All right. I need to think of a third one that's really fucky. That's not even fucky. Hold on. Let me pull up the Leafs roster real quick. I can think of some names, but I want to find one that's super fucking like out there. Oh no, that's who I need. Here we go. You're not pronouncing this one. I don't care what you say.
Am I good to go?
Yeah, you're good to go.
All right. What the fuck is that, dude?
Oh.
This literally looks like you know all the magnets that you had as a kid that you put on your fridge and you spilled out? It looks like you put them all in a fucking bucket, shook it, and threw it on the floor. That's what it looks like.
All right.
Okay, so from top to bottom, is the guy's first name Ilya?
Yes.
Mikheyev?
Hey, that's close. Ilya Mikheyev, yeah.
Mikheyev, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dimitro?
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Timashov.
Hey, you got it. Yeah, Dmitry Timashov.
Hey, okay, cool.
Good luck on the last one.
Semyon?
Yes.
Semyon?
Yeah, Semyon. Yeah.
Semyon.
Yeah.
Derailed stuff?
I mean, you can read the letters. You want me to say it?
Yeah.
All right. We always just call him SDA because fuck that name. But it's Semyon Argachintsev. Argachintsev, yeah.
All right.
There you go. So I'm gonna have to give you a pronunciation lesson when we go to cast hockey.
Fuck, dude.
That's just on the Leafs. I gotta get you some fucking hard ones.
My favorite one to say is oven chicken. That's my favorite.
Oh yeah, Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Streak Almighty, since it's coming out soon, what are your thoughts on the implementation of the Battle Pass, and do you think it'll help the longevity of the game? I don't think there's any problems with the longevity of the game, so Battle Pass will be Battle Pass. People want to buy it, they can.
My only thing is, if you want to make money on the Battle Pass, make better skins.
True.
Just saying.
Yeah, the skins.
I don't need a fucking Ash fucking fishing skin. What the fuck was that?
A pair of fucking pants!
Like, why do I want a fucking fishing skin for Ash?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Basically.
I just want to know who at the content team was like, you know what we need? A fucking fishing skin for Ash.
Yup.
The woman who literally in her opening video was like, my teacher, I can't remember the term. My teacher always told me that a woman's best garment is like quiet, or like silence or whatever the fuck. Like just being able to like stalk around. But obviously she breaks that since she's loud and proud or whatever. So you guys will have to go watch it. It's really weird. But again, Ash is from the Middle East, if you guys didn't know. So.
Yeah, she's from Israel.
Yep.
Repulsive. What would you both like to see to help new players get into this game? Bro, I don't like the newcomer playlist is about the best idea I can come up with, and it already exists. Probably like a shooting range just to practice getting recoil and aim and leaning down.
Yeah, I'll allow them to play their defensive operators, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I would say talk to pros and make a very, very simple tutorial on how to use each person, like a video of like, this is smoke. Here's how you use smoke. Like every fucking trying to think of what to say here. Every MOBA developer for like League of Legends, Smite, Dota 2, every time they release a new champ to the game, there's just like a YouTube video that you can like click the link to from game that goes, this is how you play this person.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? That helps me out with like League. Like I'm trying to learn League. And like it helps out a lot when I'm like, I don't know what that person does. I look them up. There's a 4-minute video for a champion spotlight. I can't talk. champion spotlight that breaks down all their moves and everything. Goes, this is what this does. Here's like a routine build that would go for them, and then it's over. You know?
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to have like a little thing that's like, hey, Smoke's a denial operator. He can deny 45 seconds of time if he's played perfectly. Here's
don't roam with him.
Yeah, don't roam. Stuff like that.
Yeah, those would be nice little just introduction videos in the game when you unlock operators. Winters, that your question is basically the entire first hour of the podcast, so I'm gonna skip it. English Jesus, given how big the esports scene is in Asia, League of Legends, StarCraft, you said Dora, but I'm gonna assume you meant Dota. Dora the Explorer is just massive in Asia, dude.
Huge in Asia, dude.
What do you think Siege needs to do to take it to the top tier of esports over there? Their pro teams are in the weaker side, fewer of them, and viewership is typically lower than other regions. So first off, you're wrong about the viewership. Japan is third globally in terms of viewerships. It goes the English stream, then LATAM, and then Japan. And sometimes Japan passes LATAM, depending on the team playing. To build, I mean, FPSs just aren't common and not really all that big in Asia, man. Like, you got a lot of people, so you'll still end up getting some pro teams from Asia, like Cloud9 and like Arrowwolf and Xavier and all them. But I mean, and obviously Nora and Cyclops. But I mean, like, FPSs just aren't the thing there. It's just not a culturally accepted thing. So, and I mean, China, I don't even know what's going on with the ban. I think it's still banned in China right now. So that's like 1.3 billion people you're missing out on. So, I mean, I don't know. That's a cultural thing. That's not a Siege thing. Like, CSGO is also not, like, there aren't crazy Asian teams in CSGO. Like, it's just, that's FPSs, man.
I'm not touching China on the internet right now with a 10.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
You see what happened with the Rocket CEO or GM or whatever his title is?
Oh, yeah. Fucking.
Yikes.
Yep.
Also, did you hear about the whole, did you see that Blizzard finally made a stance on the guy for the Hearthstone tournament?
No.
Yeah, they permanently banned him and permanently banned the casters as well.
Jeez.
And then removed the VOD.
Yep.
And disabled the comments on their forum post about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how she goes.
Conforming in China, dude. Anyways.
Do you think having the Pro League finals in Japan so relatively early in Siege's life could be detrimental to the development of Siege esports, given they might be put off by certain aspects which may be fixed in future updates, spectator and such? No, man. Like, no, you're not going to do any damage by exposing. You're never, like, all publicity is good publicity. Like, the people going to the event aren't going to just buy tickets and go to the event like, hey, this is a thing that's happening on a Saturday. I've never seen the game before. Like, that's just, you don't go to a baseball game just because you fucking feel like it on a Wednesday. Like, if you want to make it an outing with a family to go to your very first baseball game, then go for it. But I mean, there's bigger and better events in Japan for esports that you could go to as your first esports event. Like, people aren't coming out to a Siege Pro League finals without knowledge of the game. Like, that's just not a thing that's going to happen. You're not going to put people off by fucking hosting it there. And if anything, you're going to make it more inclusive. You're going to have more fans coming out and actually being able to take part in the festivities, in the experience. Like, a bad spectator system is not going to hold you back from having fun at the events. Like I just talked about with fucking SI. Like, even if I don't get selected to cast the Six Invitational 2020, I'm still going. Because the games are awesome, but it's also about just hanging out with people and getting to meet people. You don't know how many people
that is truly fucking amazing.
Like, that's more what it's about than anything. Like, I don't know, like, that just seems like a really pessimistic take, that it would, like, somehow put people off. The game is off-putting on its own. I'll just be honest, it's off-putting. It's very complex. It's hard to learn for newcomers. You're not going to be going to a Siege event unless you know what the fuck it's about.
And that just falls back on that whole spectation and everything that we've already covered before. But
yeah,
just for a quick TLDR, it's this game's very difficult to watch, especially if you don't know what's going on. And even for us, like as casters, it's very difficult to cast because, again, it's very hard to tell an entire story when you're like, okay, like I know what I kind of want to view and what I want to talk about, but you can't even tell what they're doing when you're not on them, because like you can't see utility and a bunch of other stuff.
Moving on, the G East just put a snake emoji. Good for you. Godobbler 4 questions. Number 1, FaZe can fuck themselves in the last 3 playdays? They can, but they probably won't. Number 2, what are TSM's problems besides being a BO1 team? Right now, probably dropping Jarvis for Gotcha.
Right now, roster moves. I mean, like again, I love the TSM guys, but I also am I'm pro dunk. I'm kind of like Parker, where I just like if I'm gonna like if a dunk's there and I have a good idea for a dunk, I'm going to dunk. Like that's just how it goes, So I put out that meme that was the Post Malone meme, and it was TSM, and the chick lifting her shirt was roster moves. And I just put the caption as NA will be NA.
Yep.
So this is how.
And I think the thing is like when roster moves happen and then the team does poorly, it's an easy dunk. But like when roster moves happen and things go well, winning solves all problems. Like EG coming out of the loss of Canadian looked fucking good, like better than we expected at DreamHack. Looked better in the first couple of games of the second half. Like winning solved all the problems, but now they're dropping games that they should be winning, and now there's problems again. And it's like SSG hasn't found their footing with Troy. And then there's the problem. But like Slebin and Gonfi coming to the Sonics, that made things better, and people aren't talking about them as much. Like winning solves all problems. So if TSM can just figure out how the fuck to win a BO1 online, it'll solve all their problems. Like that's, and I think obviously all the problems with TSM are what I outlined earlier in the segment where we talked about it. Number 3, Gohan came to NIP and now NIP is the worst? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't think they're the worst. I think they're adjusting. And again, winning solves all problems, right? What are your thoughts on Pro League being a BO2 format, like the BR6 format, or is that like the multi-league? I don't know what MD2 stands for. You're from Brazil, so I assume there was a language barrier there, but I don't know what MD, like, so the way that BR6 works is there's 2 different leagues. There's like the A League and the B League, and basically like you play relegations to advance from the B League to the A League after the season of BR6, and then stuff like that. That's kind of what Pro League and Challenger League are right now, if that was your question. If you're asking for BO2s, there just isn't the time on the broadcast to do it the way we do it right now, unfortunately. But that might change in the future. Who knows? I think the format right now for Challenger League that we've been doing with like best of 2s, like APAC does it, it's interesting. Like I said, there's pros and there's cons. Yeah, I don't know. Every format has their pros and cons. Big fan from Rio. Best crowd in the world, by the way. I love you all. Thank you very much, Godobler. I appreciate you. Sam C. Sam TCY. Sam C. Number 1, with Pi subbing in for Navi, will it be the team that stopped G2 going to Japan? This question was asked before the playdays, apparently. But I still believe in the prophecy. Like I still believe in the prophecy. They'll make it. Not a question, but really happy that Obey is really taking care about the... Okay, this English is tough. Really happy that Obey is taking care of the roster and the legal action by the Embers. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even look like it's a real lawsuit right now, so... It looks like a child throwing a temper tantrum. Super Minum, do you like the 100 Thieves style of clothing release, where they release small batches of clothes that sell out quickly, or is something like a constant shop better? I mean, clearly, the 100 Thieves model is working out really well.
That's how Hypebeast clothing works, dude. They just brought Hypebeast clothing to, esports. That's all they did.
They're also pissing off a lot of people at this point. Like, a lot of people are actually getting very fucking upset that they are not having access to product. And I will actually say this. So, we were in Milan about to cast, I think it was you and I casting Immortals EG for the first game of Milan.
Mm-hmm.
And literally as we got to the podium, like 5 minutes before we were about to go live, the 100 Thieves drop for that tricolor hoodie went live. And I tried to buy one while we were sitting at the desk and the website wouldn't load.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
Sick. The black, white, and red one?
Yep.
Yeah, that thing's fucking dope, dude.
Yep. I definitely would have bought one. So that's the thing. It's like, I think 100 Thieves is missing out on a lot of opportunity for profit, but there's less of a hype around it. Like Sam said, it's hype beast style of these limited drops. The same thing with like hype beast shoes that come out too. Limited runs of it just create more demand, and less supply equals more demand, right? So I don't know. It's their decision right now to keep doing this shit. I'm personally a little upset because I probably would have bought at least 2 or 3 things from them already, even though they're so outrageously overpriced.
It's just, they have fucking great designs.
Oh yeah, they look cool. I like them. I'm a big fan of hoodies. probably would have bought a couple hoodies from them by now. But
yeah, Flynn is a hoodie connoisseur.
Yep, I have plenty of hoodies, and I continue to buy hoodies to the day. I would like to get a hoodie from every pro team, like every
zip
pro
up or
award.
pullover?
Oh, pullover. Zip-ups are fucking dumb. I hate zip-ups. They're too thin, and the zipper in the middle just creates this weird fucking crease that makes it look like you're fucking 90 pounds overweight. Pullovers all day.
I respect it. All right.
So remind him again. Do you think that Sleben not being an Ash Jaeger main and more of a flex secondary entry for the Sonics is due to him not being very fluent in English? By sitting closer to site, he doesn't have to play off as much information in calls as he might not fully understand the spot yet. I think you're going to have plenty of difficulties with players coming over with language barriers. You know, that was one of the biggest hurdles that the Giants had to overcome when they stopped being full French when they picked up aces. So, I mean, that's just a problem with every team that changes languages. So, I don't know. It's not really a Sonic specific thing. I think honestly, I'd rather if I didn't really if I was playing with like a bunch of Brazilian players or if playing with a bunch of APAC players from like Japan or Korea or something, I'd probably just want to be like a crazy brainless Ash Jaeger main though, because then I don't have to relay calls or anything. I don't have to do anything like intelligent or work off teamwork or anything. I can just run in and try and kill people. And if I don't kill people, then I'm not doing my job. But if I kill people, then I'm doing my job, and we can all just like look at each other and smile awkwardly because we don't know how to talk to each other. Like. I'd much rather that than fucking try and like sit on site and be like a flex. Like that wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, like how were your comms when your coach sat down during the
Kazoku didn't say a fucking word. Didn't say a fucking word. He just ran around and did shit. We were like, yes, Kazoku, be the best. Like that was literally like that was the extent of what we said to each other.
I spawn peeked him.
He didn't say a word to me.
I made him sad.
I don't think he said a word to any of us. He just sat down and was like, yo, let me get in here real quick.
All
right, and the last question. Remember when I said it was going to be a short episode?
Yeah, you lied.
I lied. Coming up on
yeah,
3 hours.
3 hours. Yep.
Chaos Panda 6969. Number one, should they make ranked have more rounds like kicks recommended with the 6-round splits? I don't want that. I don't want that.
Yes.
I don't want it.
Yes.
I like ranked with the way it is right now.
Stop. Shut up.
I just don't want ranked games being fucking 90 years long, man.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I want full length.
There you go.
If
Differing opinions.
If I'm going to sit down and fucking commit to a ranked game, I want it to be the exact same as a competitive match.
I'm in a completely different boat. I like being able to rip through ranked games and not be stuck in the same map.
Why not just make it unranked, dude? If they had a good map pool, it'd be fine.
I still wouldn't like it. I'd still rather keep it the way it is right now. Number two, should national programs like USN and the Canadian Nationals be more helpful for smaller teams? Because USN is just 400 qualifiers until all the Pro League teams get in, and other regional national ESL-sponsored tournaments have small prize pools and very little outreach. No, you should never placate towards... The biggest problem with this is it depends on the prize pool, right? And if you're putting up any significant prize pool, well, then the best players are always going to come out. Like USN has a massive prize pool, so all the pro teams come out because money and advertising, and also you get to be streamed on the main stream, so that's just advertising for the org. When it comes to other regional tournaments, I mean, the Mexican Nationals, who are you going to get to, like Geo? There you go. Geo is your team for the Mexican Nationals, right? Like there's no other high-tier Mexican players from Mexico. Obviously, there's Mexican Americans. Same thing with Spain. Spain does not have high-tier players anymore. You know, they had a whole fucking Pro League team in year one, but they've fallen off. You know, Benelux as well. They have, 3 players in Challenger League and Pro League. There's the UK Premiership, again, you have, Secret going in there and just dumpstering every other team. Navi did it for a while there as well, and then Navi and Secret kind of went back and forth for a while. But, regional tournaments are just what they are, man. They're not meant to be anything bigger than what they are. And you also don't want to be fucking casting silvers and golds, because I did that for the Canadian Nationals last year, and let me tell you, that was fucking awful. Number 3, is there a reason Liquid play like shit online? They won Season 7, had a close game against Empire for the 2019 Invitational, and got second place at DreamHack Montreal, but are currently 4th in LATAM. I mean, MIBR is also having bad season. NIP 2 seasons ago looked like they were about to get auto-relegated. Sometimes teams just have bad online seasons. TSM won DreamHack Montreal, but is in 7th right now. Like, there's just teams that play bad online. It's not really a Liquid-specific thing. And Liquid, honestly, has not played well online for a long time. Like, Season 8, they didn't make it to Rio. Season 9, they didn't make it to Milan. And now Season 10, they're not making it to Japan. Like, it's not a new thing. Are Elevate actually good after beating Ince? No. And can Sisu mathematically get out of relegation? No. And number 5, the final question of the fucking night. Thank the Lord. And who is your favorite to get in relegations in NACL with Shrug? The favorite pro team I'd like to match up against? Probably the Sonics, because they're arguably the worst. But I think we match up well against Rogue. I think we match up well against the Sonics. We can play that same kind of aggressive game. Definitely wouldn't want to go up against TSM. That's for goddamn sure. Yeah. So out of those 3 teams, I'd rather the Sonics out of all 3 of them, but got to get there to be able to sort that out. So just focusing on winning CL at this point.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think that's the best avenue.
Yeah, I think we can catch Rogue right now while they're underperforming by a significant margin. I think the Sonics have Slevin and Comfy. And yeah, I think TSM would blow us out of the fucking water. I think they'd blow any team in CL out of the water. It wouldn't even be close. I think Rogue, if they get back to like having a good day as well, would also blow us and everyone else in CL out of the water. Just putting that out there. But if we caught them on a bad day, and again, this is why relegations kind of suck in the way they are. Like, you catch Rogue on a bad day and all of a sudden they're out of Pro League. Like, does that seem fair? Probably not. Like, let's be honest. Is Shrug better than Rogue? No. Is Obey better than Rogue? No. Is anyone in NACL better than Rogue? No. But you catch them on a bad day and all of a sudden, hey, I'm in Pro League and you're not. Suck a dick.
Have fun in CL, pussies.
Yep. Well, There we go, guys. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We appreciate it. This is another long episode. I will be limiting the Q&A rules for next week because you people
are fucking psychotic.
You ask a lot of questions, and we appreciate the questions. It drives interesting conversation, but by the end of it, you can definitely tell we're ripping through them because we just want to stop talking. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Sorry for the delay on the episode as well. We fucked up sleeping properly, so we're going to do that. Also, the schedule every Sunday is still pretty intact. Next Sunday, I'm not doing a goddamn thing. But then the Sunday after that,
goddamn thing either, so...
Sunday after that, I might be hungover and coming home late from the Canadian Nationals land, but then every Sunday after that, I should be... Oh, fuck! No! Shit! Next Sunday is Thanksgiving.
Oh, ooh. Canadian. I was like, no the fuck it's not. What the fuck?
Yes, Canadian Thanksgiving. Okay, I'll talk to you about finding a day that works then. Okay, we might not have an episode on the 13th, guys. Sorry. But yeah, I'll sort that out. The 20th, I'll be hungover, but I'll be fine. 27th, I'll be fine. 3rd, I'll be fine. 10th, we still don't know who's doing Japan, so maybe yes, maybe no. And then, yeah, everything on from there for the foreseeable future should be fine. So, there we go, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and head to thecoilstore.com/BLeaguers. Use the code, all caps, BLeaguers for 5% off your order. Off of your officially licensed Ubisoft paraphernalia, and head to patreon.com/BLeaguers. Give us your fucking money. That's about all I have to say about that. Give me your
fucking money! What a good finding. Anyways, that's going to be it for us, guys. We love you guys. Again, we'll get things figured out next week. Just pay attention to the Reddit and the Twitter. We'll get the news out there as soon as we get it figured out. So we appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week, hopefully at some point in time. But again, we'll get it figured out. So that's it. Have a good morning drive, or you're probably at work now. It's probably like midday. This has been a long fucking episode.
Yeah, you're welcome again. Fucking 3-hour episodes, I guess, are our niche, bud. We got to find a way to pare these down.
Yeah.
We just have too much to talk about. Oh well. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.